In the world of hockey, there has never been a run quite like the one we're about to explore. From 1956 to 1960, the Montreal Canadiens claimed 5 straight Stanley Cup titles, a feat unmatched in NHL history. They were a team of balance and brilliance, built on discipline, leadership, and quiet intensity. Led by iconic names like Maurice, Jean Béliveau, Jacques Plante, and Doug Harvey. This was not just a dominant squad, it was a dynasty. Night after night, they skated with purpose, executing their system with calm precision and unmatched chemistry. In this story, we'll glide year by year through their rise, their victories, and the subtle changes that defined their legacy. Welcome to Sleepy Sports, where you fall asleep to the greatest moments in sports history. In the early 1950s, the Montreal Canadiens stood as a beacon of excellence in the National Hockey League. This period was marked by the team's enduring legacy and deep-rooted traditions. The Canadiens had already established themselves as a powerhouse, boasting a rich history that included numerous Stanley Cup victories. By 1953, the Canadiens had secured their 12th championship, further cementing their reputation as one of the league's most storied franchises. That season, the Canadiens displayed remarkable skill and determination, culminating in a thrilling playoff run that saw them defeat the Boston Bruins in the finals. The Canadiens' roster featured exceptional talent, including the legendary Maurice, who had become a symbol of hope and resilience for the team and its fans. The year 1953 was particularly significant for the Canadiens. They entered the playoffs as a formidable force, showcasing a blend of speed, skill, and tactical prowess. The Stanley Cup Finals against the Bruins were intense, characterized by hard-fought games and fierce competition. The Canadiens emerged victorious, claiming the championship in a thrilling series that went to the final game. Maurice played a pivotal role in this triumph, scoring crucial goals and demonstrating his unmatched ability to inspire his teammates. His performance not only secured the championship, but also solidified his place in the hearts of Canadiens fans. The joy of victory, however, was soon overshadowed by events that would shake the very foundation of the franchise. In 1955, the Canadiens faced a significant turning point in their history, with the eruption of the Richard Riot. This event was more than just a hockey game. It was a reflection of the cultural and social tensions brewing in Montreal. The riot was sparked by the suspension of Maurice after an altercation during a game against the Boston Bruins. The suspension ignited a passionate response from fans, who viewed Richard not just as a player, but as a symbol of their identity and pride. The outcry was palpable, with many fans feeling that Richard had been unfairly targeted by the league. The situation escalated, resulting in widespread unrest and protests in the streets of Montreal. The Richard Riot was a watershed moment for the Canadiens and the city itself. The unrest highlighted the deep emotional connection between the team and its supporters. Fans poured into the streets, chanting Richard's name and expressing their outrage at what they perceived as an injustice. The riot resulted in chaos, with storefronts being vandalized and clashes occurring between police and demonstrators. The aftermath of the riot left a lasting impact on the Canadiens organization and the city of Montreal. It underscored the passion that hockey inspired in the community and the lengths to which fans would go to defend their heroes. As the Canadiens navigated the aftermath of the riot, they were also contending with the challenges of the original 6 era. The league was comprised of just 6 teams, which meant that every game held significant weight. The competition was fierce, with each team vying for supremacy. The Canadiens were determined to rebuild and reclaim their status as the premier franchise in the league. In the years that followed, they would begin to assemble a new generation of talent that would ultimately lead to a dynasty. The late 1950s marked the beginning of a remarkable transformation for the Canadiens. With the emotional fallout of the Richard riot behind them, the team focused on cultivating a roster that would dominate the league for years to come. The Canadiens were known for their ability to scout and develop talent, and they continued to refine their approach during this period. Players like Jean Béliveau and Doug Harvey emerged as key figures in the organization, each bringing their unique skills and leadership qualities to the ice. Jean Béliveau, in particular, would become a cornerstone of the franchise. His elegance and poise on the ice, combined with his exceptional scoring ability, made him a fan favorite. Béliveau's contributions went beyond his on-ice performance. He embodied the spirit of the Canadiens and became a role model for aspiring young players. His leadership and sportsmanship set a standard for the team, and he would go on to captain the Canadiens during some of their most successful years. Doug Harvey, another pivotal figure, redefined the role of the defenseman in hockey. His ability to control the game from the blue line and contribute offensively changed the dynamics of how defensemen played. Harvey's vision and intelligence on the ice made him a key asset for the Canadiens, and he became one of the most celebrated players of his era. Together with Béliveau, Harvey formed the backbone of a team that was poised for greatness. As the Canadiens entered the 1960 season, they were ready to embark on a new chapter in their storied history. The combination of seasoned veterans and emerging stars created a formidable lineup that would soon dominate the league. The Canadiens were not only focused on winning games, they were determined to restore the pride and passion that had been shaken during the tumultuous years prior. They understood the importance of their legacy and the responsibility they carried as representatives of the city of Montreal. The Canadiens' commitment to excellence paid off in the following seasons. They began to amass a series of championships that would define a dynasty. The early 1960s saw the Canadiens winning the Stanley Cup in 1960-1961, and again in 1965. Each victory reinforced their position as the preeminent team in the league, and showcased their ability to adapt and evolve. The Canadiens' success during this period was not merely a product of talent, it was also a testament to their resilience. The team had faced adversity and emerged stronger, learning valuable lessons from their experiences. This resilience became a hallmark of the franchise, instilling a sense of determination that would carry them through both triumphs and challenges in the years to come. As the Canadiens continued to build their legacy, they also fostered a deep connection with their fan base. The Bell Centre became a sacred space for supporters, who would gather to celebrate victories and mourn defeats together. The atmosphere during home games was electric, with fans chanting and waving flags, creating an environment that was both intimidating for opponents and uplifting for players. The Canadiens understood the significance of this connection, and they worked tirelessly to honor it. Throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s, the Montreal Canadiens not only solidified their status in the NHL, but also became a cultural phenomenon. The team was woven into the fabric of Montreal life, transcending the sport itself. The Canadiens represented the hopes and dreams of a community, and their victories were celebrated as collective achievements. The bond between the team and its fans was unbreakable, forged in the fires of both triumph and turmoil. In conclusion, the Montreal Canadiens' journey through the early 1950s was marked by a blend of success and adversity. The triumph of the 1953 Stanley Cup win was overshadowed by the emotional turmoil of the Richard riot in 1955. However, this period also laid the groundwork for a dynasty that would emerge in the years to come. With a commitment to excellence, a focus on developing talent, and an unwavering connection to their fan base, the Canadiens transformed themselves into one of the most iconic franchises in sports history. The legacy of the Canadiens would continue to inspire generations, reminding them of the power of resilience, community, and the enduring spirit of hockey. In 1954-55, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves at a pivotal point in their storied history. Under the guidance of general manager Frank Selke, the team was beginning to lay the groundwork for what would become a legacy of success in the National Hockey League. Selke's leadership was characterized by a vision that combined strategic foresight with an understanding of the game's intricacies. He was not just focused on the present, he was laying the foundation for long-term success, one that would endure for decades. During this season, the Canadiens were coming off a disappointing finish in the previous year's Stanley Cup Finals. The loss to the Detroit Red Wings weighed heavily on the team and its passionate fan base. The sting of that defeat was palpable, and it served as a catalyst for change. Selke recognized that the Canadiens needed to reassess their approach to both player development and team dynamics. His commitment to building a stronger organization was reflected in the meticulous scouting and development efforts that were initiated during this time. Selke understood that success in the NHL was not solely dependent on the talent of the players but also on the depth of the roster and the quality of the coaching staff. He focused on enhancing the scouting department, ensuring that the Canadiens would identify and recruit promising young talent from across Canada and beyond. The team's scouts were tasked with finding players who embodied the spirit of the Canadiens, skillful, hard-working, and resilient. Selke believed that a strong farm system was essential for sustained success, and he invested time and resources into developing young players who could eventually contribute to the team. In addition to scouting, the Canadiens' front office began to emphasize player development. They invested in training facilities and support staff, ensuring that young athletes had access to the best resources available. This included not only physical training, but also mental conditioning and education on the game. The organization recognized that nurturing talent required a holistic approach, one that addressed the players' physical, mental, and emotional needs. This commitment to development would pay dividends in the years to come, as the Canadiens began to cultivate a new generation of stars. As the season progressed, the Canadiens showcased their resilience and skill on the ice. They played a style of hockey that was both dynamic and disciplined. The players were well aware of the importance of teamwork, and they executed their strategies with precision. The coaching staff, led by head coach Toe Blake, emphasized a balanced approach, blending offensive flair with solid defensive play. This philosophy became a hallmark of the Canadiens' identity during this era. Despite the promise shown throughout the regular season, the Canadiens found themselves once again facing the Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Finals. The series was hard-fought, with both teams displaying their strengths and weaknesses. The Canadiens, buoyed by their talented roster, fought valiantly, but ultimately fell short. The loss was a bitter pill to swallow, one that echoed the disappointment of the previous year. Yet within the organization, there was a sense of determination. The front office understood that setbacks were part of the journey, and they were committed to learning from the experience. In the aftermath of the finals loss, Frank Selke and his team took a step back to evaluate the organization. They analyzed every facet of their approach, from player performance to coaching strategies. Selke understood that the road to success was paved with lessons learned from failure. He was resolute in his belief that the Canadiens would emerge stronger from this experience. The leadership within the organization was unwavering. They knew that the foundation they were building was not only about winning in the short term but about creating an enduring legacy that would inspire future generations. The Canadiens' commitment to improvement led to a series of strategic decisions that would shape the future of the franchise. Selke and his colleagues made key moves in the off-season, acquiring players who would bring additional depth and skill to the lineup. They recognized the importance of surrounding their star players with capable teammates who could elevate the team's performance. This philosophy of building a well-rounded roster would become a cornerstone of the Canadiens' success in the years that followed. As the 1955 season came to a close, the Canadiens were not merely looking to recover from their recent disappointments. they were setting the stage for a dynasty. The groundwork laid during this time would soon lead to a period of unparalleled success in the NHL. The lessons learned from the losses to the Red Wings would fuel the team's desire to reclaim their place at the top of the league. Frank Selke's leadership and vision were instrumental in guiding the Canadiens toward a brighter future. The resilience of the Canadiens became a defining characteristic of the organization. The team's commitment to excellence, both on and off the ice, was unwavering. Selke's focus on scouting and development ensured that the Canadiens would not only compete but thrive in an increasingly competitive league. The combination of strategic foresight and a dedication to nurturing talent positioned the Canadiens as a formidable force in the NHL. In the years that followed, the Canadiens would go on to capture multiple Stanley Cups, solidifying their status as one of the most storied franchises in professional sports. The foundation established during the 1954-55 season proved to be a catalyst for success. The organization's commitment to teamwork, skill development, and resilience would echo through the annals of hockey history. As we reflect on this period, it becomes clear that the Montreal Canadiens are not just a team, they are a symbol of perseverance and excellence. The challenges faced in the mid-1950s served as a crucible, forging a legacy that would inspire countless players and fans alike. The lessons learned from disappointment became stepping stones toward greatness, and the Canadiens emerged as a testament to the power of determination and vision in the world of sports. In the summer of 1955, the Montreal Canadiens stood at a crossroads. The storied franchise, with its rich history and fervent fan base, faced a significant change in leadership. Coach Dick Irvin, who had guided the team to numerous victories and deep playoff runs, was replaced by the legendary Toe Blake. This transition marked not just a new chapter for the team, but also a shift in philosophy and approach. Toe Blake was a former player, a gritty winger who had donned the Canadiens' jersey with pride during his own career. His understanding of the game was deep-rooted, and he possessed an innate ability to connect with players on a personal level. As the summer progressed, the Canadiens began preparing for the upcoming 1955-56 season. Training camp was a critical time for Toe Blake, as he sought to establish his presence and philosophy. Blake's leadership style was characterized by a blend of discipline and camaraderie. He understood that to foster a winning culture, players needed to feel not only respected, but also valued. His approach was not about barking orders. Instead, it was about building relationships and trust. This was a departure from Irvin's more formal style. Blake's reputation as a player's coach quickly became evident during those early days of training camp. The Canadiens' training camp was held at the Montreal Forum, a hallowed ground for hockey enthusiasts. Players arrived with a mix of excitement and trepidation, eager to impress their new coach. Blake welcomed them warmly, emphasizing that each player had a role to play in the team's success. He encouraged open communication, inviting players to share their thoughts and ideas. This approach helped to break down barriers and foster a sense of unity among the team members. Blake's ability to connect with his players was evident in the way they responded to his guidance. As the days of training camp unfolded, Blake implemented a series of drills designed to enhance teamwork and cooperation. He focused on building chemistry among the players, knowing that success on the ice required more than individual talent. The drills were challenging but also enjoyable, allowing players to bond while honing their skills. Blake often joined in, demonstrating techniques and encouraging players to push their limits. His infectious enthusiasm and commitment to the team's development resonated deeply with the players, further solidifying their trust in him. One of Blake's key strategies was to emphasize the importance of defense. He believed that a strong defensive foundation was essential for any successful team. Under his guidance, the Canadiens began to focus on positioning, communication, and anticipation, Blake taught his players the nuances of defensive play, instilling a sense of responsibility for one another. This approach not only improved the team's overall performance, but also fostered a sense of accountability among the players. They learned that each individual was part of a larger machine, working in harmony to achieve a common goal. As the season approached, Blake's influence became increasingly evident. The players were not only improving their skills, but also developing a newfound confidence. Blake's emphasis on trust and teamwork created an environment where players felt comfortable taking risks and expressing themselves on the ice. The Canadiens were no longer just a collection of talented individuals. They were evolving into a cohesive unit, ready to face the challenges of the upcoming season. In the fall of 1955, as the regular season loomed, the Canadiens entered the campaign with a renewed sense of purpose. Blake had successfully laid the groundwork for a successful season, and the players were eager to put their newfound skills to the test. The atmosphere around the team was electric, filled with optimism and determination. Blake's leadership had transformed the team dynamics, and the players were ready to embrace their roles within the system he had established. As the first game approached, anticipation filled the air. The Montreal Forum buzzed with excitement as fans prepared to witness the Canadiens in action under their new coach. Blake's strategies were put to the test as the team faced their opponents, and he watched intently from behind the bench. The players executed the drills they had practiced throughout training camp, showcasing their improved defensive play and teamwork. The Canadiens began the season strong, with players responding to Blake's guidance and support. His ability to instill confidence in his players translated into their performance on the ice. Each game became a testament to the bond they had forged during training camp. Blake's approach had created a culture of trust that allowed players to thrive individually while contributing to the team's success. As the season progressed, the Canadiens solidified their position as one of the top teams in the league. Blake's emphasis on defensive responsibility and teamwork paid dividends, and the players embraced their roles with enthusiasm. Each game brought new challenges, but the trust they had developed in one another became their greatest asset. They learned to rely on their teammates, knowing that each player had their back. This sense of unity was palpable, and it resonated with fans who watched their beloved team compete with renewed vigor. By the end of the 1955-56 season, the Canadiens had not only emerged as a dominant force in the league, but had also established a winning culture that would define the franchise for years to come. Blake's leadership had transformed the team, instilling a sense of pride and responsibility in each player. The trust he built during training camp laid the foundation for a successful season, and the Canadiens would go on to capture the Stanley Cup, solidifying their place in hockey history. Blake's tenure as head coach marked a significant turning point for the Montreal Canadiens. His ability to connect with players, foster teamwork, and emphasize the importance of defense transformed the franchise. The trust he earned from his players became the bedrock of their success, and the Canadiens would continue to thrive under his guidance in the years that followed. The summer of 1955 and the transition to Blake would forever be remembered as a pivotal moment in the storied history of the Montreal Canadiens. In 1955-56, the Montreal Canadiens embarked on a season that would be remembered for its blend of seasoned talent and youthful exuberance. At the heart of this team was Maurice, affectionately known as the Rocket. Even at the age of 34, Richard was not merely a figure of nostalgia. He was a living embodiment of excellence on the ice. His leadership was critical as the Canadiens sought to reclaim their dominance in the National Hockey League after a few years of fluctuating success. The Canadiens had a storied history, one that stretched back to their founding in 1909. They were the first professional hockey team in North America and had built a legacy of success, claiming numerous Stanley Cup championships. However, the mid-50s presented a unique challenge. The team was not only competing against rival franchises, but also evolving with the game itself. The introduction of new talent, alongside seasoned veterans like Richard, created a dynamic atmosphere that was palpable both on and off the ice. Richard's presence in the locker room was invaluable. Known for his fiery spirit and competitive nature, he inspired his teammates to elevate their performance. The Rocket had a reputation for being a fierce competitor, and his work ethic was contagious. He understood the game at a level few could match, and his insights were often sought after by younger players, looking to carve out their own paths in the league. This season, he would not only lead by example, but also mentor emerging stars, helping to bridge the gap between generations. As the season progressed, the Canadiens showcased a formidable roster. Alongside Richard, players like Jean Béliveau and Harvey contributed significantly to the team's success. Béliveau, who would later become a legend in his own right, was known for his smooth skating and exceptional playmaking abilities. Meanwhile, Harvey was a defensive stalwart, providing stability at the back end, while also contributing offensively. The chemistry among these players was evident, and their synergy on the ice created a formidable challenge for opposing teams. The season was marked by a series of memorable moments. The Canadiens began with a strong start, winning games and establishing themselves as a force to be reckoned with. The combination of Richard's scoring prowess and the strategic play of his teammates created a potent offensive unit. The excitement of the games resonated through the Bell Centre, where fans gathered in droves to support their beloved team. The atmosphere was electric, filled with anticipation and hope as each game unfolded. However, the road was not always smooth. As the season wore on, the pressure began to mount. The Canadiens faced fierce competition from other franchises, each vying for supremacy in the league. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Detroit Red Wings were particularly formidable adversaries, each boasting their own roster of talented players. The rivalry between Montreal and Toronto was especially intense, steeped in history and fueled by passionate fan bases. Games between these two teams were often characterized by fierce competition and high stakes, and the tension was palpable both on the ice and in the stands. Throughout the season, Richard's ability to rise to the occasion became increasingly apparent. His scoring touch was as sharp as ever, and he continued to find the back of the net with impressive regularity. The Rockets' ability to perform under pressure was a hallmark of his career, and this season was no exception. Fans would often hold their breath as he skated down the ice, anticipation building with each stride. His quick release and pinpoint accuracy made him a constant threat, and opposing goaltenders were often left scrambling to keep up with his pace. In addition to his offensive contributions, Richard's leadership was instrumental in fostering a sense of unity within the team. He encouraged collaboration and mutual support among his teammates, creating an environment where everyone felt valued and motivated to contribute. This camaraderie was evident in the way the team played. They moved as one cohesive unit, anticipating each other's moves and supporting one another in both offensive and defensive situations. As the season progressed, the Canadiens found themselves in a tight race for the top of the standings. Each game brought new challenges, but the team remained focused and determined. Richard's leadership was a guiding light, reminding his teammates of their shared goals and the importance of perseverance. His resolve became a source of inspiration, and the team rallied around him, pushing through the inevitable ups and downs that come with any long season. The playoffs loomed on the horizon, and the excitement in Montreal was palpable. Fans eagerly anticipated the opportunity to see their team compete for the coveted Stanley Cup. The Canadiens had a storied history in the playoffs, and the hopes of a city rested on their shoulders. Richard, with his wealth of experience, understood the significance of this moment. He was determined to lead his team to glory once again. As the playoffs began, the Canadiens faced off against the New York Rangers in the first round. The games were intense, filled with high-paced action and moments of brilliance. Richard's presence on the ice was felt more than ever. He scored crucial goals, often in the most critical moments of the game. His ability to elevate his play in the playoffs was legendary, and this season was no different. The Canadiens advanced past the Rangers, showcasing their depth and skill as they moved forward in pursuit of the Stanley Cup. The next challenge came in the form of the Detroit Red Wings, a team that had become a perennial powerhouse in the league. The series was hard-fought, with each game a battle of wills. Richard's leadership shone through as he continued to inspire his teammates. They fought valiantly, matching the intensity of the Red Wings with their own brand of grit and determination. The series was a test of character, and the Canadiens emerged victorious, fueled by the spirit of their captain and the unwavering support of their fans. As they advanced to the finals, the Montreal Canadiens faced off against the Chicago Blackhawks. This was the culmination of a long season, and the stakes could not have been higher. The Canadiens had their sights set on the ultimate prize, and the entire city of Montreal held its breath in anticipation. The games were a showcase of skill and strategy, with both teams vying for supremacy. Richard's experience and poise in these high-pressure situations were invaluable. He continued to score key goals, and his presence on the ice provided a sense of calm amidst the chaos. In the end, the Canadiens triumphed, claiming the Stanley Cup once again. The victory was not just a testament to their skill as players, but also a celebration of their unity as a team. Richard, having played a pivotal role in their success, was celebrated as a hero, his legacy further solidified. The joy that swept through Montreal was palpable, a city united in celebration of its beloved team. The 1955-56 season remains a cherished chapter in the history of the Montreal Canadiens. It was a season marked by resilience, teamwork, and the indomitable spirit of Maurice Richard. His leadership and skill were instrumental in guiding the team to victory, and his influence extended far beyond the ice. The memories created during that season continue to resonate with fans, a reminder of the magic that can happen when talent, determination, and passion come together in pursuit of greatness. In 1955-56, the Montreal Canadiens experienced a significant transformation, largely due to the emergence of Jean Béliveau as the team's central figure. Prior to this season, Béliveau had already established himself as a talented player, but it was during this period that he truly blossomed into a hockey superstar. His combination of skill, vision, and leadership made him the focal point of the Canadiens' attack, and his impact resonated throughout the league. Béliveau's performance in the 1955-56 season was nothing short of remarkable. He led the National Hockey League in scoring, amassing an impressive total of 82 points. This achievement was a testament to his offensive prowess, as he demonstrated an uncanny ability to find the back of the net, while also creating opportunities for his teammates. His scoring title was not merely a reflection of his individual talent, but also of the chemistry he developed with his linemates, most notably with fellow Canadiens players like Bernie Geoffrion and Dickie Moore. Together, they formed a formidable trio that struck fear into the hearts of opposing teams. The accolades for Béliveau did not stop with the scoring title. His exceptional play earned him the Most Valuable Player award, solidifying his status as one of the elite players in the league. The recognition was well-deserved, as he consistently delivered under pressure, contributing not only with his scoring, but also with his ability to elevate the performance of those around him. The Canadiens thrived with Béliveau at the helm, and his leadership qualities began to shine even brighter. He was not only a skilled player, but also a mentor to younger teammates, guiding them through the rigors of professional hockey. As the season progressed, the Canadiens found themselves not only competing for the top spot in the league, but also establishing a culture of excellence. Béliveau's presence was pivotal in this regard. His work ethic and dedication to the game inspired his teammates to push their limits. He became the embodiment of the Canadiens' storied tradition, a franchise steeped in history and success. The team's philosophy of teamwork and resilience resonated with Béliveau's style of play, as he often emphasized the importance of collective effort over individual accolades. The 1955-56 season was also a time of change for the Canadiens. Under the guidance of their head coach, Blake, the team adopted a more aggressive style of play. This shift allowed Béliveau to thrive even further, as he was given the freedom to showcase his offensive talents. The Canadiens began to dominate their opponents, and their success was directly linked to the synergy between Béliveau and the coaching staff. Blake recognized Béliveau's potential and tailored the team's strategy to maximize his contributions. Béliveau's impact extended beyond the rink. He became a symbol of hope and pride for the city of Montreal. The Canadiens had a loyal and passionate fan base, and Béliveau quickly became one of their beloved figures. His humility and grace, both on and off the ice, endeared him to fans. He was not just a player, he was a role model, representing the values of sportsmanship and dedication. His presence at community events and charitable endeavors further solidified his status as a pillar in Montreal. The climax of the season came during the playoffs. The Canadiens entered the postseason with high expectations, buoyed by their strong regular season performance and the exceptional play of Béliveau. As the playoffs unfolded, he continued to shine, demonstrating his ability to perform at the highest level when it mattered most. Each game became a showcase for his skill, with his deft puck handling and precise shooting captivating fans and analysts alike. In the playoffs, the Canadiens faced formidable opponents, but Béliveau remained undaunted. His leadership was crucial as the team navigated through each round. He scored key goals and provided crucial assists, all while maintaining a calm demeanor that instilled confidence in his teammates. The Canadiens advanced through the rounds, and with each victory, Béliveau's legend continued to grow. His performances were not just about statistics, they were about heart, determination, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. The Canadiens eventually reached the Stanley Cup Final, where they would compete for the ultimate prize in professional hockey. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown, and Béliveau was ready to lead his team into battle. The anticipation was palpable, as fans filled the arenas, eager to witness history in the making. Béliveau's presence on the ice was magnetic, drawing attention and admiration from all corners of the hockey world. As the series unfolded, Béliveau's contributions were pivotal. He played with a sense of urgency and purpose, knowing the weight of the moment. His ability to perform under pressure was a hallmark of his career, and this series was no exception. The Canadiens fought valiantly against their opponents, and Béliveau's leadership shone brightly, guiding them through the highs and lows of the series. Each game was a testament to his skill and determination, as he continued to weave his magic on the ice. In the end, the Canadiens emerged victorious, capturing the Stanley Cup. The celebration that ensued was a reflection of the hard work and dedication that had characterized their season. Béliveau's contributions were immeasurable, and he was celebrated not only for his individual achievements, but also for his role in leading the team to triumph. The victory was a culmination of the efforts of the entire organization, but Béliveau stood at the forefront, a true embodiment of the spirit of the Montreal Canadiens. The 1955-56 season marked a turning point in Béliveau's career, solidifying his status as a hockey legend. His journey from a talented player to a superstar was complete, and the impact he had on the Canadiens and the sport as a whole would be felt for generations to come. As he lifted the Stanley Cup high above his head, It was not just a personal achievement, it was a moment that resonated deeply with the fans and the city of Montreal, a testament to the power of perseverance, teamwork, and the unbreakable bond between a player and his team. In the years that followed, Béliveau would continue to build upon the foundation he laid during that remarkable season. His legacy as a player, leader, and ambassador for the sport would endure, inspiring countless young athletes to pursue their dreams on the ice. The Montreal Canadiens, with Béliveau at the forefront, would continue to be a force in the National Hockey League, and his influence would leave an indelible mark on the franchise and the game of hockey itself. In 1955-56, the Montreal Canadiens were a team steeped in tradition and excellence. They were the embodiment of hockey's rich history, showcasing a blend of skill, strategy, and an unyielding will to win. At the heart of their success during this season was a player whose influence would resonate throughout the game, Doug Harvey. Harvey was not just a defenseman, he was a revolutionary force on the ice. His approach to the game transformed how defensemen played and contributed to their teams. Doug Harvey was born in 1924 in New York City. His early life revolved around sports, but it was hockey that captured his heart. He honed his skills in the youth leagues, gradually making his way through the ranks. By the time he reached the National Hockey League, he had already developed a reputation for his exceptional skating ability and keen understanding of the game. Harvey joined the Canadiens in 1947, and it did not take long for him to become a pivotal figure in their lineup. In the mid-1950s, the Canadiens were a powerhouse. They had a formidable roster that included legends such as Maurice, Jean Béliveau, and Henri Richard. These players not only brought skill but also a deep sense of pride and determination that was characteristic of the Canadiens' culture. However, it was Doug Harvey's presence on the blue line that truly set the team apart. His calm demeanor and strategic thinking allowed him to control the pace of the game in ways few had ever seen before. Harvey's style of play was defined by his exceptional ability to read the game. He had an innate sense of positioning, which enabled him to anticipate plays before they unfolded. This foresight allowed him to intercept passes and disrupt opposing forwards, effectively neutralizing threats before they could develop. His skating was fluid and graceful, allowing him to glide effortlessly across the ice, maintaining a balance between offensive support and defensive responsibility. One of Harvey's most notable contributions was his passing ability. He possessed a unique talent for transitioning the puck from defense to offense. When he received the puck, he would scan the ice with a level of focus that seemed almost meditative. His decisions were swift yet deliberate, often leading to breakout plays that would catch opponents off guard. Harvey's passes were crisp and accurate, allowing forwards to exploit gaps in the opposition's defense. This skill not only facilitated scoring opportunities, but also helped maintain the tempo that the Canadiens thrived on. As the season progressed, Harvey's impact became increasingly evident. He was named to the NHL First All-Star Team, a testament to his outstanding performance throughout the year. His contributions on the ice were not merely statistical, they resonated in the way the Canadiens played as a cohesive unit. The team's success was a reflection of Harvey's leadership, both in terms of his play and his ability to inspire those around him. In addition to his on-ice contributions, Doug Harvey's influence extended into the locker room. He was known for his professionalism and dedication to the game. His work ethic set a standard for his teammates, fostering an environment where excellence was expected. Harvey's calm presence provided reassurance during high-pressure situations, allowing players to focus on their roles without succumbing to stress or anxiety. This psychological aspect of his game was as crucial as his physical skills. The Canadiens' journey through the 1955-56 season culminated in a remarkable playoff run. The team faced fierce competition, yet their combination of talent and experience propelled them forward. Harvey's contributions were vital throughout the postseason, as he continued to demonstrate his ability to control the tempo of games. He excelled in key moments, making crucial defensive plays and contributing to the offensive flow. His composure under pressure was a hallmark of his character, earning him respect from both teammates and opponents alike. Ultimately, the Canadiens triumphed in the Stanley Cup Final, defeating the Detroit Red Wings to secure the championship. This victory marked the Canadiens' 24th Stanley Cup title, solidifying their legacy as one of the premier franchises in sports history. Doug Harvey's role in this achievement cannot be overstated. He was instrumental in guiding the team through the challenges of the playoffs, showcasing the very qualities that made him a legendary figure in the game. Following the season, Harvey continued to make history. He would go on to win the Norris Trophy, awarded to the league's best defenseman, multiple times throughout his career. His influence extended beyond his playing days, as he became a coach and mentor, sharing his knowledge with future generations of players. Harvey's commitment to the game and his passion for hockey left an indelible mark on the sport. As we reflect on the 1955-56 season, it becomes clear that Doug Harvey was more than just a player. He was a pioneer. His ability to control the tempo of the game and transition the puck with unparalleled clarity redefined the role of defenseman in the National Hockey League. Harvey's legacy is woven into the fabric of the Montreal Canadiens and the sport of hockey itself. His story serves as a reminder of the power of skill, strategy, and composure in achieving greatness on and off the ice. In 1955-56, the Montreal Canadiens embarked on a journey that would solidify their status as one of the most successful franchises in National Hockey League history. This season marked the beginning of a new era, one defined by the remarkable talents of Jacques Plante, whose evolution as a goaltender was pivotal to the team's success. Plante's technical skill and strategic positioning in the net helped the Canadiens secure their first championship in this historic run, laying the groundwork for the dynasty that would follow. Jacques Plante was not just a goaltender, he was a visionary. His approach to the game was innovative, blending traditional goaltending techniques with his unique style. Plante was known for his exceptional ability to read plays, anticipating the movements of opposing players, and positioning himself accordingly. This instinctive understanding of the game allowed him to make split-second decisions, often resulting in spectacular saves. His agility and quick reflexes were complemented by a calm demeanor, which instilled confidence in his teammates. During this season, Plante's technical mastery was on full display. He had a keen ability to control rebounds, an essential skill that minimized second-chance opportunities for opponents. Plante would often absorb the puck with his body, using his pads and glove to corral shots rather than deflecting them into dangerous areas. This approach reduced the likelihood of chaos in front of the net, allowing the Canadiens to maintain their defensive structure. Plante's positioning was also noteworthy. He employed a low stance, which helped him cover the lower part of the net, while remaining agile enough to rise quickly for high shots. His stance was a blend of traditional and modern techniques, showcasing his adaptability in an evolving game. The Canadiens' defense during this period was formidable, with players like Doug Harvey and Tom Johnson playing crucial roles. They complemented Plante's skills, creating a well-oiled machine that could stifle opposing offenses. Harvey, in particular, was known for his exceptional skating ability and hockey intelligence. He often orchestrated the play from the back end, transitioning the puck from defense to offense seamlessly. This synergy between Plante and the defenseman was instrumental in the Canadiens' success, as it allowed them to control the tempo of games. In addition to his technical prowess, Plante's mental fortitude set him apart from his contemporaries. He faced immense pressure, not only from opponents but also from the expectations that came with playing for the Canadiens. The franchise had a storied history, and the weight of its legacy rested heavily on the shoulders of its players. However, Plante embraced this pressure, using it as motivation to elevate his game. He understood that a strong mental game was just as important as physical skill, and he worked diligently to cultivate this aspect of his performance. The 1955-56 season was not without its challenges. The Canadiens faced fierce competition in the league, with teams like the Detroit Red Wings and Toronto Maple Leafs vying for supremacy. Each matchup was a test of skill and will, and Plante's ability to rise to the occasion was a key factor in the Canadiens' success. He often delivered standout performances in critical games, making clutch saves that kept his team in contention. His resilience in the face of adversity became a hallmark of his career, earning him the respect of teammates and opponents alike. As the regular season progressed, Plante's contributions became increasingly evident. The Canadiens finished at the top of the league standings, a testament to their collective effort and Plante's exceptional play. He recorded numerous shutouts, showcasing his ability to keep the puck out of the net. Each game was a building block, and Plante's confidence grew with each victory. His performance not only bolstered the team's chances, but also solidified his reputation as one of the premier goaltenders in the league. When the playoffs arrived, the stakes were higher than ever. The Canadiens entered the postseason with a sense of purpose, eager to capture the championship that had eluded them in previous years. Plante's presence in goal was a calming influence, and his teammates rallied around him. They knew that with Plante in net, they had a fighting chance against any opponent. His ability to perform under pressure became a rallying point for the entire team. The playoffs were a grueling test of endurance and skill. The Canadiens faced tough opponents, each series bringing its own set of challenges. Plante's performance remained consistently strong, as he made critical saves that kept the Canadiens in games. His ability to stay focused amidst the chaos of playoff hockey was a testament to his character. He understood that every save mattered, and he approached each game with unwavering determination. In the final series, the Canadiens found themselves matched up against the Red Wings, a formidable foe with a rich history of success. The tension was palpable, as both teams fought for supremacy. Plante's technical skill and positioning were on full display during this series. He faced a barrage of shots from some of the league's top scorers, yet he remained unflappable. His ability to read the play allowed him to anticipate shots, and his quick reflexes enabled him to make highlight reel saves. As the series progressed, the Canadiens took the lead, but the Red Wings were relentless. Each game was a battle, and Plante's performance was crucial in maintaining the Canadiens' advantage. His calm demeanor in goal provided a sense of stability for his teammates, and they fed off his energy. Plante's confidence was infectious, and it became evident that he was the backbone of the team. Ultimately, the Canadiens emerged victorious, capturing the championship in a thrilling series that showcased the best of hockey. Plante's contributions were instrumental in this success, and his performance solidified his status as a goaltending legend. The championship was not just a testament to the team's skill, but also to Plante's mastery of the position. He had transformed the role of the goaltender, paving the way for future generations of players. In the aftermath of the championship, Jacques Plante's influence on the game continued to resonate. His unique style and technical approach inspired countless goaltenders who followed in his footsteps. He was not merely a participant in the game, he was a pioneer, redefining what it meant to be a goaltender in the National Hockey League. The legacy he built during the 1955-56 season laid the foundation for the Montreal Canadiens dynasty and changed the course of hockey history. As the years passed, Plante's impact on the game endured. The Montreal Canadiens would go on to capture numerous championships in the following decades, but the essence of what Plante brought to the team remained a constant. His mastery in goal was a defining feature of the franchise's identity, and his contributions were etched into the annals of hockey lore. The Canadiens' success during this era was not just about the trophies. It was about the spirit of teamwork, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of excellence that Plante embodied. The 1955-56 season stands as a remarkable chapter in the history of the Montreal Canadiens. It was a time of transformation, innovation, and triumph. Jacques Plante's growing mastery in goal was at the heart of this journey, shaping the future of the team and the sport itself. His legacy endures, a testament to the power of skill, determination, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. In the seasons spanning from 1955 to 1956, the Montreal Canadiens experienced a remarkable journey, one that would be etched in the annals of hockey history. This era was marked by exceptional talent, strategic prowess, and an unyielding desire to win. The Canadiens, under the guidance of their head coach Toe Blake, showcased a level of play that captivated fans and left an indelible mark on the National Hockey League. The regular season began with the Canadiens displaying their dominance on the ice. The team was a blend of seasoned veterans and emerging stars, all contributing to a formidable lineup. The roster included hockey legends, such as Maurice, Jean Béliveau, and Doug Harvey. Each player brought a unique skill set, creating a synergy that was difficult for opponents to counter. Maurice, known for his electrifying speed and goal-scoring ability, was a key figure. His passion for the game was palpable, and he often inspired his teammates to elevate their performance. As the regular season progressed, the Canadiens established themselves as a powerhouse. They finished with a record that reflected their consistency and determination. Games at the Forum were electric, with fans eager to witness the artistry of their beloved team. The Canadiens' play style was characterized by swift puck movement, strategic passing, and an unwavering commitment to defense. The team's ability to adapt and read the game was evident in their ability to dominate their opponents. In the playoffs, the Canadiens faced the New York Rangers in the first round. The series was filled with intensity and showcased the rivalry that had developed over the years. The Rangers, known for their grit and determination, posed a significant challenge. However, the Canadiens approached the series with a calm confidence. In the first game, played at Madison Square Garden, the Canadiens quickly asserted their dominance, taking control of the game early on. Maurice lit the lamp, sending the Canadiens fans into a frenzy. The Canadiens won that game decisively, setting the tone for the series. As the series progressed, the Canadiens continued to demonstrate their superiority. Each game was a testament to their skill and teamwork. Jean Béliveau, with his exceptional playmaking abilities, often found open teammates, creating scoring opportunities. The Canadiens' defense, anchored by Doug Harvey, stifled the Rangers' offensive efforts. The series concluded with the Canadiens advancing, solidifying their position as one of the elite teams in the league. Following their victory over the Rangers, the Canadiens faced a formidable opponent in the Detroit Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Final. The Red Wings were a team steeped in tradition and talent, featuring stars like Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay. The matchup was highly anticipated, as both teams had a rich history and a fierce rivalry. The games were played in a spirited atmosphere, with fans from both cities filling the arenas, eager to witness the clash of these titans. Game 1 of the series was held at the Forum, where the Canadiens were determined to set the tone. The atmosphere was electric, and the excitement was palpable. The Canadiens took an early lead, showcasing their ability to control the pace of the game. Maurice, ever the fierce competitor, scored the first goal, igniting the crowd. The Canadiens' defensive strategy proved effective, limiting the Red Wings' scoring chances. As the game progressed, the Canadiens maintained their lead, ultimately winning the first match and gaining a crucial edge in the series. The second game saw the Canadiens travel to Detroit, where the Red Wings were eager to even the series. The game unfolded as a tightly contested battle, with both teams exchanging scoring opportunities. However, the Canadiens' resilience shone through. They executed their game plan flawlessly, maintaining discipline and focus. Doug Harvey's defensive prowess was on full display, as he thwarted multiple Red Wings attacks. The Canadiens emerged victorious once again, taking a commanding 2-game lead in the series. As the series continued, the intensity only heightened. Game 3 was a turning point, as the Red Wings, fueled by their passionate home crowd, fought back with determination. The Canadiens faced their toughest challenge yet, but their experience and composure under pressure were evident. Jean Béliveau, known for his calm demeanor, led by example, scoring a crucial goal that shifted the momentum back in favor of the Canadiens. The game concluded with the Canadiens securing a narrow victory, putting them just one win away from the coveted Stanley Cup. With the series shifting back to Montreal for Game 4, anticipation filled the air. The Forum was packed to the rafters, a sea of red, white, and blue. The atmosphere was electric, as fans cheered for their heroes. The Canadiens knew that they were on the brink of greatness. The game unfolded with both teams giving their all, but the Canadiens' experience proved invaluable. They executed their game strategy with precision, and as the final minutes ticked away, the tension was palpable. When the final buzzer sounded, the Canadiens emerged victorious, clinching the Stanley Cup title. The triumph over the Red Wings not only solidified the Canadiens' status as one of the greatest teams in hockey history, but it also marked a significant chapter in the team's legacy. The players celebrated their hard-earned victory, a culmination of their dedication and teamwork throughout the season. Maurice, Jean Béliveau, and the rest of the team were hailed as heroes, their names forever etched in the hearts of Canadiens fans. In the aftermath of their victory, the Canadiens' achievement resonated throughout the hockey community. Their style of play, characterized by skill, determination, and sportsmanship, set a standard for future generations. The legacy of the Canadiens continued to inspire young athletes, reminding them of the importance of hard work and perseverance. The 1955 to 1956 season became a benchmark, a testament to what could be achieved through unity and passion for the game. As the years passed, the stories of this remarkable season were shared and retold. The Canadiens' journey through the regular season and playoffs became a cherished part of hockey lore. Fans reminisced about the thrilling moments, the unforgettable goals, and the camaraderie that defined the team. The impact of the Canadiens extended beyond the ice, as they became symbols of hope and resilience for their community. The Montreal Canadiens' triumph in 1956 was not merely a victory, it was a celebration of the spirit of hockey. It represented the culmination of years of dedication, sacrifice, and a shared love for the game. As the franchise continued to build upon this legacy, the memories of that season remained a guiding light, inspiring future generations to carry the torch of excellence in the world of hockey. In 1956, the Montreal Canadiens entered the National Hockey League season with a distinct sense of purpose and a heavy mantle of expectation. They were the reigning champions, having claimed the Stanley Cup in the previous season, and the pressure to repeat loomed large. The Canadiens had a storied history, filled with triumphs and challenges, and the weight of that legacy was palpable. The team was not only striving to defend their title, but also to uphold the pride of their franchise and the fervent hopes of their passionate fan base. Coach Toe Blake, a legendary figure in hockey, had cultivated a unique system that emphasized teamwork, speed, and skill. The Canadiens were known for their fluid style of play, which relied heavily on the ability to move the puck quickly and capitalize on opportunities. Blake had a keen understanding of his players' strengths and weaknesses, and he meticulously crafted strategies that allowed each individual to shine while contributing to the team's collective success. This was not merely a group of talented athletes. It was a cohesive unit that had been molded through years of shared experiences and hard work. As the season began, the Canadiens faced early challenges. Injuries plagued the roster, testing the depth of the team. Yet it was in these moments of adversity that the Canadiens showcased their resilience. Players like Jean Béliveau, Maurice and Henri Richard stepped up, not only to fill the gaps left by their injured teammates, but also to lead by example. Béliveau, with his graceful skating and exceptional vision, became a beacon of hope. His ability to create scoring opportunities, and his leadership on and off the ice, inspired his teammates to elevate their own games. The Canadiens' defensive core was equally impressive. With players such as Doug Harvey and Tom Johnson, the team established a formidable blue line that not only stifled opposing offenses, but also facilitated offensive plays. Harvey, often regarded as one of the greatest defensemen in hockey history, was a master at transitioning the puck from defense to offense. His ability to read the game and anticipate plays allowed the Canadiens to maintain possession and control the tempo of the match. The synergy between the forwards and defensemen was a hallmark of Montreal's gameplay, and it became increasingly evident as the season progressed. As the months rolled on, the Canadiens began to find their rhythm. The chemistry among the players blossomed, and they started to string together impressive performances. Each game became a testament to their dedication and determination. They navigated through the grueling schedule with a sense of purpose. The players understood that repeating as champions required not just skill, but also an unwavering commitment to each other and the team's goals. The Canadiens' success was not solely rooted in their on-ice performance. Behind the scenes, the organization was fostering a culture of excellence. The management, led by Frank Selke, emphasized the importance of player development and community engagement. The Canadiens were not just a hockey team, they were a symbol of pride for the city of Montreal and its residents. The fans, known for their loyalty and passion, filled the Forum each night, creating an electric atmosphere that fueled the players' performances. In the latter part of the season, the Canadiens faced several key matchups that tested their resolve. Each game was a battle, and the stakes were high. The team's ability to remain composed under pressure was evident. They executed their game plan with precision, showcasing the depth of their roster and the effectiveness of their system. The players understood their roles and responsibilities, which allowed them to adapt and thrive in various situations. As the regular season drew to a close, the Canadiens secured their place in the playoffs. The anticipation in the city was palpable, as fans eagerly awaited the opportunity to witness their beloved team compete for the Stanley Cup once again. The playoffs presented a different challenge, as the intensity of the games heightened and the margin for error diminished. Each series was a test of willpower, skill, and strategy. In the first round, the Canadiens faced off against the New York Rangers. The rivalry between these two teams was storied, and the games were fiercely contested. The Canadiens emerged victorious, but not without facing moments of adversity. The series showcased the depth of their roster, as different players stepped up at crucial moments. The contributions of lesser-known players became pivotal, reminding everyone that success in hockey is often a collective effort. Advancing to the semi-finals, the Canadiens encountered the Boston Bruins, a formidable opponent with a rich history of their own. The series was a clash of titans, filled with emotion and intensity. The Canadiens' experience and composure shone through, as they executed their game plan with precision. The series became a showcase of skill, determination, and strategic prowess. Each game was tightly contested, but the Canadiens' ability to remain focused and disciplined ultimately led them to victory. The finals brought them face-to-face with the Detroit Red Wings, a team that had also experienced success in the league. The championship series was a culmination of their hard work, perseverance, and dedication. The games were electric, filled with thrilling moments and breathtaking plays. The atmosphere in the Forum was charged with excitement, as fans rallied behind their team, creating an environment that was both supportive and invigorating. As the series progressed, the Canadiens' system began to shine brighter than ever. Their ability to maintain puck possession, create scoring opportunities, and stifle their opponent's offense became evident. The players executed their roles with precision, and the teamwork that had been developed throughout the season came to fruition. The culmination of their efforts was a testament to the power of collaboration and mutual respect among teammates. In the final game of the series, the Canadiens faced the Red Wings in a battle for the ages. The stakes were high and the pressure was palpable. Yet, the Canadiens remained unfazed. They drew upon their experiences from the season, the lessons learned from their struggles, and the unwavering support from their fans. Each player understood the significance of the moment, and they rose to the occasion. The final buzzer sounded, and the Canadiens emerged victorious, having successfully defended their title. The celebration that ensued was a reflection of the hard work and dedication that had been invested throughout the season. The players embraced each other, reveling in the joy of their achievement. They had not only repeated as champions, but had also solidified their place in the annals of hockey history. In the aftermath of their victory, the Canadiens reflected on their journey. They had faced challenges, overcome obstacles, and emerged stronger as a unit. The experience forged bonds that would last a lifetime. The importance of teamwork, resilience, and dedication became ingrained in the fabric of the organization. The lessons learned during the 1956-57 season would resonate for years to come, influencing the next generations of Canadiens players. The Montreal Canadiens had once again proven that they were more than just a hockey team. They were a symbol of pride for a city and a testament to the spirit of competition. Their legacy continued to grow, inspiring future players and fans alike. The journey of the Canadiens in that season is a reminder of the beauty of sports, the power of teamwork, and the unwavering pursuit of excellence. In April 1957, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves once again in a fierce battle against their longtime rivals, the Boston Bruins. This encounter was not merely another game. It was a crucial moment in the National Hockey League playoffs, where the stakes were exceptionally high and the passion of the players palpable. The Canadiens, a franchise steeped in rich history and tradition, were looking to assert their dominance in the face of a formidable opponent. With the echoes of previous encounters still resonating in the minds of both teams, anticipation filled the air as the puck was dropped. The Canadiens had a roster that was a tapestry of talent, skill, and resilience. At the forefront was Maurice, known affectionately as the Rocket. Richard was a player whose very presence on the ice could shift the momentum of a game. In the 1956 season, he had become the first player in the history of the National Hockey League to reach the remarkable milestone of 500 goals. His explosive play was a spectacle to behold. Richard possessed an uncanny ability to maneuver through defenders, combining speed with an instinctual understanding of the game. As the series unfolded, it became clear that Richard was determined to leave an indelible mark on this playoff run. The Canadiens entered the game with a disciplined approach, a hallmark of their playing style. Coach Toe Blake had instilled a sense of focus and commitment in his players. They practiced relentlessly, honing their skills and strategies to perfection. The Canadiens were known for their meticulous execution of plays, often making the most of every opportunity presented to them. As the game progressed, it became evident that their preparation was paying off. They moved the puck with precision, creating scoring chances that left the Bruins scrambling to keep pace. The atmosphere in the Montreal Forum was electric, a cauldron of emotion and excitement. Fans filled the stands, their cheers and chants reverberating through the arena. The Canadiens had a loyal following, and the energy from the crowd was palpable, fueling the players' determination. Each time Richard touched the puck, the anticipation grew. The crowd held its breath, waiting for the moment when he would unleash his trademark shot. Richard had a way of elevating the game, not just through his scoring but also by inspiring his teammates to elevate their performance alongside him. As the game unfolded, the Canadiens showcased their defensive prowess. The blue line, anchored by the likes of Doug Harvey, was a fortress. Harvey, a Hall of Famer, was known for his ability to read the game and anticipate the movements of the opposition. He was a master at transitioning from defense to offense, often leading the charge up the ice. The Bruins found it challenging to penetrate the Canadiens' defense, their attempts thwarted by the seamless coordination and communication among the players. The Canadiens' defensive discipline allowed them to maintain control of the game, dictating the pace and flow. In the early stages of the first period, the Canadiens struck first. Richard, with his characteristic speed and agility, maneuvered around the Bruins' defense. He found himself in a prime position, and with a quick flick of his wrist, he sent the puck soaring past the Bruins' goaltender. The crowd erupted in a chorus of cheers, the sound echoing through the hallowed halls of the Forum. It was a moment that encapsulated Richard's brilliance, a testament to his skill and determination. The goal set the tone for the remainder of the match, instilling confidence in the Canadiens while putting pressure on the Bruins. The Bruins, however, were not to be underestimated. They responded with vigor, launching their own offensive efforts. Led by the likes of Milt Schmidt and Leo Boivin, they sought to find an answer to the Canadiens' early lead. The game became a back-and-forth battle, each team exchanging chances and testing the resolve of the opposing goaltender. As the Bruins pressed forward, the Canadiens stood firm, relying on their defensive structure to absorb the pressure. The tension in the arena was palpable, as the outcome remained uncertain. As the first period drew to a close, the Canadiens maintained their lead. The players retreated to the locker room, where Coach Blake delivered a calm yet motivating speech. He emphasized the importance of staying disciplined and sticking to their game plan. The Canadiens were a well-oiled machine, and Blake reminded them to trust in their abilities. The players returned to the ice with renewed determination, ready to continue the battle against their rivals. The second period saw the Canadiens extend their lead. Richard, ever the catalyst, showcased his playmaking ability. He created space for his teammates, orchestrating opportunities with his keen vision. With a deft pass, he set up Jean Béliveau, who capitalized on the chance with a powerful shot that found the back of the net. The Canadiens were now in control, their dominance evident as they executed their game plan with precision. The Bruins, while resilient, struggled to find a rhythm, their frustrations mounting as the Canadiens continued to apply pressure. As the game progressed into the third period, the Bruins found themselves in a precarious position. They needed to mount a comeback, and the urgency was palpable. The Canadiens, however, remained steadfast in their approach. They focused on maintaining puck possession, cycling the puck, and wearing down the Bruins. Every pass was calculated, every movement deliberate. The Canadiens were not merely playing to win, they were playing to dominate. Richard continued to be a focal point, his presence on the ice commanding attention. He drew defenders toward him, creating opportunities for his teammates. The chemistry among the Canadiens was evident, a seamless interplay that showcased their understanding of one another's strengths. They moved as a unit, each player contributing to the collective effort. The Bruins, despite their best efforts, found it increasingly difficult to break through the Canadiens' cohesive play. As the clock ticked down, the tension in the arena reached a fever pitch. The Bruins made a final push, desperately seeking to narrow the gap. Their players poured every ounce of energy into the effort, but the Canadiens' defense held firm. Harvey and his fellow defenders blocked shots, disrupted passing lanes, and cleared the puck with precision. The Canadiens were relentless in their pursuit of victory, their discipline and execution shining through in every aspect of the game. In the final minutes, the Canadiens sealed their triumph with another goal, a testament to their dominance. The crowd erupted in jubilation, the sound echoing through the forum as the final buzzer sounded. The Canadiens had emerged victorious, a culmination of skill, strategy, and determination. Richard's explosive play had been a driving force, but it was the collective effort of the entire team that had secured the win. As the players celebrated their hard-fought victory, the legacy of the Montreal Canadiens continued to grow. They were not just a team, they were an institution, a symbol of excellence in the sport of hockey. The triumph over the Bruins in April 1957 would be etched in the annals of history, a testament to their enduring spirit and commitment to the game. The Canadiens had once again proven that they were a force to be reckoned with, and their journey through the playoffs was far from over. The echoes of this game would resonate for years to come, a reminder of the passion and dedication that defined the Montreal Canadiens. In the summer of 1957, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves at a pivotal moment in their storied history. After a successful run in the previous season, which culminated in a championship victory, the team was eager to maintain its harmony and momentum. The Canadiens, established in 1890, had long been a powerhouse in the National Hockey League, but the pressure to continue their success was palpable. The off-season became a crucial period for the team, focusing on both physical training and the preservation of their unique identity. During this time, the Canadiens emphasized the importance of off-season training. Players were encouraged to take care of their bodies and hone their skills in preparation for the upcoming season. The organization recognized that physical fitness was essential for maintaining the competitive edge that had brought them glory. Many players returned to their hometowns or training camps, where they participated in various activities to stay in shape. Some engaged in rigorous skating drills, while others opted for weight training or endurance exercises. The commitment to personal fitness was not just about individual performance, but also about contributing to the team's overall success. While physical training was vital, equally important was the focus on team chemistry. The Canadiens were renowned for their strong locker room relationships, which played a crucial role in their on-ice success. The summer of 1957 was no different. Players understood that building camaraderie during the off-season would translate into better teamwork once the season began. The Canadiens often held informal gatherings, where teammates could bond over shared experiences and foster a sense of unity. These gatherings often included barbecues, fishing trips, or simply spending time together at local establishments. It was during these moments that friendships blossomed, creating a solid foundation for the season ahead. The Canadiens also understood the significance of maintaining a positive atmosphere within the locker room. Veteran players took on mentorship roles, guiding younger teammates through the intricacies of professional hockey. This mentorship was instrumental in helping newcomers adapt to the high expectations and intense pressure that accompanied playing for the Canadiens. The veterans shared their wisdom, imparting lessons on how to handle both victories and defeats with grace. Their guidance created a nurturing environment where players felt supported and valued. This sense of belonging was essential for the team's identity, which was built on collaboration and mutual respect. As the summer progressed, the Canadiens' management engaged in strategic planning to ensure the team remained competitive. They evaluated the strengths and weaknesses of their roster and sought opportunities to enhance the lineup. The front office maintained open lines of communication with players, encouraging feedback and discussions about potential improvements. This collaborative approach fostered a sense of ownership among the players, who felt they had a stake in the team's direction. Such transparency helped to solidify trust within the organization, further enhancing the bonds forged during the off-season. In addition to physical training and relationship building, the Canadiens placed a strong emphasis on preserving their identity. The team had a rich history, and the players understood the importance of honoring the legacy of those who came before them. The Canadiens were not just a hockey team. They were a symbol of pride for the city of Montreal and for French Canadians across North America. This cultural significance weighed heavily on the players, who recognized their role in upholding the traditions of the franchise. The iconic red, white, and blue jerseys were not merely uniforms. They represented decades of excellence and a commitment to the game. As the summer waned and training camp approached, anticipation began to build within the organization. Players returned to Montreal, eager to reunite with teammates and begin their preparations for the new season. The atmosphere in the locker room was one of excitement and optimism. The Canadiens' management had made some strategic roster changes, adding key players who would complement the existing talent. This blend of fresh energy and seasoned experience created a sense of balance, enhancing the team's potential for success. Training camp served as a critical period for the Canadiens to solidify their identity and establish their goals for the upcoming season. The coaching staff meticulously crafted practice sessions, designed to enhance both individual skills and team dynamics. Players participated in drills that focused on puck control, passing accuracy, and defensive strategies. The emphasis on teamwork was evident, as players worked together to refine their chemistry on the ice. This attention to detail was a hallmark of the Canadiens' approach, reflecting their commitment to excellence. As the season opener approached, the Canadiens felt a palpable sense of unity and purpose. The bonds forged during the summer, combined with the intensive training camp, had prepared them for the challenges ahead. They entered the new season with a collective mindset, focused on achieving greatness. The players understood that they were not just representing themselves, but also the rich history of the franchise and the passionate fan base that supported them. In the first few games of the season, the Canadiens showcased their skills and teamwork. The players' synergy on the ice was a testament to the hard work they had put in during the summer. The chemistry between players was evident in their seamless passing and strategic plays. The team quickly established itself as a formidable contender, capturing the attention of fans and analysts alike. The harmonious atmosphere cultivated during the off-season translated into a strong performance, reinforcing the belief that maintaining relationships and prioritizing team culture were essential components of success. As the season progressed, the Canadiens faced challenges, as all teams do. Injuries and tough losses tested their resolve. However, the foundation built during the summer proved invaluable. The players relied on their strong relationships to navigate adversity, drawing strength from one another. The locker room remained a sanctuary of support, where players could express their frustrations and celebrate their triumphs. This unwavering bond allowed the Canadiens to persevere, reminding them that they were part of something greater than themselves. The summer of 1957 was more than just an off-season for the Montreal Canadiens. It was a period of reflection, growth, and preparation. The commitment to physical training, the emphasis on building relationships, and the dedication to preserving their identity laid the groundwork for a successful season. As the Canadiens continued to compete, they carried with them the lessons learned during those warm summer months. They understood that the essence of their success was not solely measured in wins and losses, but in the connections they forged and the legacy they upheld. The Canadiens were not just a team, they were a family, united by a shared passion for the game and a commitment to excellence. In 1957-58, the Montreal Canadiens faced a challenging season, marked by injuries and concerns regarding team depth. The Canadiens, a storied franchise in the National Hockey League, had a rich history of success, but this particular season tested their resilience. The roster included several key players who were integral to the team's identity, yet injuries began to plague the squad early on. Claude Provost emerged as a significant figure during this tumultuous period. Known for his work ethic and versatility, Provost was a forward who could adapt to various roles on the ice. He had been with the Canadiens since the early 1950s, and his experience became invaluable as the season progressed. With several star players sidelined due to injuries, Provost took on additional responsibilities. His ability to play both on the wing and at center allowed the coaching staff to shuffle the lineup, providing much-needed flexibility. Another player who stepped up during this time was Ralph Backstrom. Backstrom was a young center who had shown promise since joining the Canadiens in 1954. His skill set was well suited for the fast-paced style of play that defined the Canadiens. As injuries mounted, Backstrom found himself in a position to contribute more significantly. He was not only a talented playmaker, but also possessed a strong two-way game, which made him a reliable option in both offensive and defensive situations. The Canadiens had high expectations entering the season, and the early injuries were a cause for concern. Key players, including the likes of Jean Béliveau and Henri Richard, faced time away from the rink. Béliveau, regarded as one of the greatest players in hockey history, had a significant impact on the team's performance. His absence was felt deeply, as he was not only a scoring leader but also a source of inspiration for his teammates. As the season unfolded, the Canadiens' coaching staff had to make strategic adjustments. They relied heavily on their depth players to fill the gaps left by the injured stars. Claude Provost and Ralph Backstrom became focal points in the team's strategy. They were often called upon to lead the charge when the team needed a spark. Their ability to elevate their play during critical moments was essential to keeping the Canadiens competitive. Provost's work ethic was contagious. He played with a tenacity that inspired those around him. His contributions often went beyond the score sheet. Coaches and teammates alike recognized his commitment to the team's success. Whether it was blocking shots, forechecking aggressively, or providing leadership in the locker room, Provost embodied the spirit of the Canadiens. Backstrom, with his youthful exuberance and skill, brought a fresh perspective to the lineup. He became a key player in the offensive scheme, often finding ways to create opportunities for his teammates. His chemistry with other forwards on the ice developed rapidly, and he quickly became a trusted linemate for many of the Canadiens' stars. As he gained confidence, his point production increased, providing a much-needed boost to the team's scoring efforts. The season was not without its struggles. The Canadiens faced tough competition from other teams in the league. The injuries to key players tested the team's depth and resilience. Yet as the season progressed, the contributions of Provost and Backstrom became increasingly important. Their ability to step up during challenging times showcased the strength of the Canadiens' roster. Throughout the season, Montreal fans remained hopeful. They understood the challenges their beloved team faced but believed in the depth of talent within the organization. The Canadiens had a history of overcoming adversity, and the spirit of the franchise was evident in the way players rallied around each other. Provost and Backstrom were not just individual contributors. They represented the collective effort of a team determined to rise above the challenges. As the regular season approached its conclusion, the Canadiens began to find their rhythm. The contributions of players like Provost and Backstrom were pivotal in the team's resurgence. The coaching staff's ability to adapt and utilize the depth of the roster became a defining characteristic of the season. The Canadiens were not simply a collection of stars. They were a cohesive unit, working together to achieve a common goal. In the final stretch of the season, the Canadiens made a push for the playoffs. They were determined to secure their place among the league's elite teams. The performances of Provost and Backstrom, along with their teammates, were instrumental in this pursuit. Each game became a testament to their resilience and determination. As the playoffs approached, the Canadiens were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The team had learned to rely on one another, and the depth that had been tested throughout the season became a source of strength. Players who had stepped up in the absence of injured stars were now prepared to contribute in high-pressure situations. The playoffs brought a new level of intensity. The Canadiens faced formidable opponents, but the experience gained during the regular season served them well. Claude Provost and Ralph Backstrom continued to play pivotal roles. Their ability to remain calm under pressure and deliver when it mattered most became crucial as the team navigated the postseason. As the Canadiens advanced deeper into the playoffs, they found themselves in familiar territory. The franchise had a storied history of success in the postseason, and the players were acutely aware of the legacy they represented. The contributions of every player, including those who had stepped up during the regular season, were vital to the team's success. The spirit of teamwork and camaraderie was palpable as they fought for the ultimate prize. In the end, the season of 1957-58 would be remembered not only for the challenges faced, but also for the resilience demonstrated by the Canadiens. The contributions of Claude Provost and Ralph Backstrom became a part of the fabric of the team's history. Their ability to rise to the occasion, despite adversity, exemplified the qualities that made the Canadiens a legendary franchise. The season was a testament to the strength of character and determination that defines the Montreal Canadiens. As they faced injuries and depth concerns, players like Provost and Backstrom emerged as heroes. Their stories are woven into the rich tapestry of the Canadiens' legacy, reminding fans and players alike of the power of perseverance and teamwork in the world of hockey. In 1958, the Montreal Canadiens entered the National Hockey League playoffs with a growing legacy and an unwavering determination. This season marked a significant moment in hockey history, as the Canadiens sought to secure their third consecutive Stanley Cup title. The team had already established itself as a formidable force within the league, and this year they were prepared to face fierce competition, particularly from their longtime rivals, the Boston Bruins. As the playoffs commenced, the Canadiens faced the New York Rangers in the first round. This matchup was steeped in history, as both teams were well acquainted with each other's styles and strengths. The Canadiens, under the guidance of legendary coach Toe Blake, were known for their speed and finesse. Their roster included stars such as Jean Béliveau, Maurice and the exceptional goaltender Jacques Plante. Plante, in particular, was a key factor in the Canadiens' success, renowned for his innovative use of the mask, which provided him with both protection and confidence on the ice. The series against the Rangers began with an electric atmosphere. The Canadiens showcased their offensive prowess, overwhelming the Rangers with a series of fast-paced plays and precise passing. In the opening game, the Canadiens secured a decisive victory, establishing an early advantage in the series. Plante's performance in goal was nothing short of spectacular, as he made a series of acrobatic saves that left fans and players alike in awe. His calm demeanor under pressure became a hallmark of his play, and it was evident that he was a cornerstone of the team's success. As the series progressed, the Canadiens continued to dominate, exhibiting a level of teamwork and cohesion that was difficult for the Rangers to counter. The Canadiens' ability to adapt to their opponents' strategies was one of the defining characteristics of their play. They demonstrated an understanding of the game that went beyond mere physical skills. Each player was attuned to the movements of his teammates, creating a fluidity that often left opponents scrambling to catch up. When the Canadiens faced the Bruins in the semi-finals, the stakes were raised even higher. The Bruins had made significant improvements to their lineup, bolstering their roster with talented players like Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito. This rivalry was steeped in passion and intensity, and the atmosphere during the games was electric. The Canadiens understood that they would need to elevate their game to overcome this formidable challenge. In the first game of the series against the Bruins, the Canadiens quickly found themselves in a battle for supremacy. The Bruins were aggressive, using their physicality to try to disrupt the Canadiens' rhythm. However, the Canadiens remained composed. They relied on their speed and skill, weaving through the Bruins' defense and creating scoring opportunities. Plante's presence in goal was a calming influence as he continued to make critical saves at key moments, earning the trust of his teammates. As the series unfolded, the Canadiens showcased their ability to adapt. They recognized the Bruins' strengths and made adjustments to their game plan accordingly. This adaptability was crucial in the face of the Bruins' relentless attack. The Canadiens employed a more defensive strategy, focusing on maintaining possession of the puck and minimizing scoring chances for their opponents. This shift allowed them to dictate the pace of the game and create opportunities on the counterattack. The resilience of the Canadiens was evident as they navigated through the physicality of the series. Each game was a test of will, and the players dug deep to find the strength to persevere. The Canadiens' depth was a significant advantage, as they were able to roll four lines effectively, keeping their players fresh and energized. This depth allowed them to maintain a relentless pace, wearing down their opponents over the course of the series. In the final game of the semi-finals, the Canadiens faced the Bruins with the series on the line. The tension was palpable, as both teams fought for every inch on the ice. The game was filled with dramatic moments, as each team created scoring opportunities. Plante, as always, was the anchor for the Canadiens, making crucial saves that kept his team in the game. His ability to maintain focus amidst the chaos was a testament to his skill and experience. As the final minutes of the game ticked away, the Canadiens found themselves with a narrow lead. The Bruins pressed hard, determined to equalize. The atmosphere in the arena was charged with anticipation, as fans held their breath, hoping for a Canadiens victory. In those tense moments, the Canadiens demonstrated their composure. They executed their game plan with precision, ensuring that they maintained control of the puck and limited the Bruins' chances. When the final buzzer sounded, the Canadiens emerged victorious, securing their place in the Stanley Cup Finals. The thrill of victory was palpable, and the players celebrated their hard-fought win. Plante's performance was once again lauded, as he had proven to be an indispensable asset throughout the series. His ability to rise to the occasion under pressure only solidified his reputation as one of the game's greats. In the finals, the Canadiens faced the Detroit Red Wings, another storied franchise with a rich history in the league. The matchup promised to be a classic, as both teams boasted a wealth of talent and experience. The Red Wings, led by stars such as Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay, were known for their offensive firepower and skilled play. The Canadiens were ready for the challenge, their confidence bolstered by their recent triumph over the Bruins. The series began with a sense of anticipation. The Canadiens quickly established their presence, showcasing their trademark style of play. Plante continued to be a stalwart in goal, making saves that seemed to defy physics. His ability to read the game allowed him to anticipate shots, positioning himself perfectly to thwart the Red Wings' advances. The Canadiens' defense, anchored by players like Doug Harvey, worked tirelessly to limit the Red Wings' scoring opportunities. As the series progressed, the Canadiens found themselves in a back-and-forth battle with the Red Wings. Each game was a showcase of skill and strategy, as both teams sought to gain the upper hand. The Canadiens' depth continued to be a key factor, as different players stepped up to contribute at crucial moments. Béliveau's leadership and scoring ability, combined with Richard's tenacity, created a dynamic that was difficult for the Red Wings to counter. In one particularly memorable game, the Canadiens faced adversity as they fell behind early. The Red Wings capitalized on a couple of scoring opportunities, leaving the Canadiens in a precarious position. However, the resilience of the Canadiens shone through once again. They regrouped, focusing on their strengths and executing their game plan with precision. Slowly but surely, they clawed their way back into the game, demonstrating their unwavering belief in one another. As the series neared its conclusion, the Canadiens found themselves on the cusp of history. With each passing game, the anticipation grew, not just among the players but also among the passionate fan base that had supported the team through thick and thin. The Canadiens were more than just a hockey team. They were a symbol of pride for the city of Montreal and its people. In the final game of the series, the stakes could not have been higher. The atmosphere in the arena was electric, with fans eager to witness history in the making. The game unfolded with intensity, as both teams fought for every inch of ice. Plante's performance was once again central to the Canadiens' success. His ability to remain calm under pressure allowed him to make saves that would ultimately prove to be game-changers. As the game wore on, the Canadiens began to seize control. They executed their plays with precision, creating scoring opportunities that left the Red Wings scrambling. The Canadiens' ability to adapt to the flow of the game was on full display. They continued to push forward, demonstrating the tenacity and skill that had become their hallmark. When the final whistle blew, the Canadiens had secured their third consecutive Stanley Cup title, a feat that had not been accomplished in the league for many years. The players embraced one another, celebrating their hard-fought victory. Plante, with his mask and unwavering focus, had once again played a pivotal role in the team's success. His contributions would be remembered as part of a larger narrative that defined an era of hockey. The triumph of the Montreal Canadiens in 1958 was not just a testament to their skill on the ice, but also a reflection of their ability to adapt and overcome challenges. As they hoisted the Stanley Cup high, they solidified their place in hockey history. This victory was not merely a moment in time. It was a continuation of a legacy that had been built over decades, one that would inspire future generations of players and fans alike. The Canadiens had proven once again that they were not just a team, but a force that would shape the landscape of hockey for years to come. In the summer of 1958, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves at a crossroads, a moment in time that would define the future of the franchise. Coming off a season that culminated in a disappointing playoff exit, the front office was faced with the daunting task of maintaining the team's storied legacy, while also addressing the emerging challenges within the league. The Canadiens, known for their rich history and unparalleled success, had to navigate the pressures of expectations without losing sight of their core values and long-standing traditions. The Canadiens had established themselves as a dominant force in the National Hockey League throughout the 1950s. They had claimed the Stanley Cup in 1956 and 1957, solidifying their reputation as one of the premier teams in professional hockey. However, the team's failure to capture the championship in 1958 highlighted the need for introspection. The management team, led by General Manager Frank Selke, understood that the game was evolving. Teams were beginning to adopt new strategies and styles of play, and the Canadiens needed to adapt to remain competitive. Rather than making drastic changes or succumbing to the pressures of the moment, the Canadiens opted for a more measured approach. They focused on subtle adjustments, emphasizing continuity and cohesion over upheaval. The philosophy was clear: build on the foundation of success, while addressing the areas in need of improvement. This approach reflected the team's long-held belief in the importance of stability within the roster and the coaching staff. One of the key aspects of the Canadiens' strategy was their commitment to player development. The organization recognized that the future success of the team relied heavily on nurturing young talent. This commitment was evident in their scouting efforts, as they sought to identify and cultivate players who could contribute to the team's success in the years to come. The Canadiens had a rich history of developing homegrown talent, and the front office was determined to continue that legacy. In the 1958 off-season, the Canadiens focused on their existing roster. They evaluated their players with a critical eye, seeking to understand how each individual could fit into the team's long-term vision. The coaching staff, led by the legendary Toe Blake, emphasized the importance of teamwork and discipline. Blake understood that the strength of the Canadiens lay not just in individual talent, but in their collective ability to work together on the ice. The Canadiens were fortunate to have a core group of players who had already made their mark on the franchise. Stars such as Jean Béliveau, Maurice and Doug Harvey were not just talented athletes. They were leaders who embodied the spirit of the Canadiens. Their presence provided a stabilizing influence on the younger players, creating an environment conducive to growth and development. The front office believed that maintaining this core group was essential to the team's ongoing success. While the Canadiens recognized the importance of continuity, they also understood that some changes were necessary to enhance the team's competitiveness. They sought to address specific weaknesses that had been exposed during the previous season. The front office made strategic moves to bolster the roster, acquiring players who could fill critical roles. These acquisitions were not made in haste. Instead, they were the result of careful consideration and a clear understanding of the team's needs. One significant addition to the roster was the acquisition of a promising young goaltender who was seen as a potential cornerstone for the future. The Canadiens had a storied history of exceptional goaltending, and the front office was keenly aware of the importance of this position. By bringing in fresh talent, they aimed to ensure that the team remained competitive in the ever-changing landscape of the league. As the off-season progressed, the Canadiens focused on building chemistry among the players. Team-building exercises and training camps became essential components of their strategy. The goal was to foster a sense of unity and camaraderie that would translate into success on the ice. The organization understood that winning was not solely about skill. It was also about the relationships formed among teammates. In addition to fostering chemistry, the Canadiens placed a strong emphasis on physical conditioning. The team recognized that the demands of the game were increasing, and players needed to be in peak physical shape to compete at the highest level. The training regimen was rigorous, designed to push players to their limits, while also ensuring they remained healthy throughout the grueling season. Throughout the off-season, the Canadiens remained focused on their long-term vision. They resisted the urge to make impulsive decisions based on short-term pressures. Instead, they honed in on their strengths and worked diligently to address their weaknesses. The front office understood that success in the NHL required patience and a commitment to a well-defined strategy. As the season approached, the Canadiens felt a renewed sense of purpose. The subtle adjustments made during the off-season began to take shape, and the team entered training camp with optimism. The players were eager to build on their past successes and demonstrate their commitment to the franchise. The atmosphere was charged with excitement, a palpable sense of determination that resonated throughout the locker room. In the early weeks of the season, the Canadiens showcased their resilience and adaptability. They faced challenges head-on, responding to adversity with a newfound sense of unity. The contributions of both seasoned veterans and emerging stars became evident, creating a balanced lineup capable of competing against the best teams in the league. The subtle adjustments made during the off-season were paying dividends, as the Canadiens found themselves in contention for the playoffs. The season progressed, and the Canadiens continued to build momentum. Their commitment to teamwork and discipline became hallmarks of their play. As they navigated through the rigors of the schedule, the team's chemistry deepened, and the players began to trust one another implicitly. This trust translated into on-ice success, as the Canadiens climbed the standings and solidified their position as a formidable force in the league. As the regular season came to a close, the Canadiens found themselves poised for another playoff run. The front office's decision to focus on subtle adjustments rather than drastic overhauls had proven to be a wise one. The team entered the postseason with confidence, ready to compete for the ultimate prize in professional hockey. The playoffs were a true test of character, and the Canadiens rose to the occasion. Their combination of skill, determination, and teamwork propelled them through the rounds, culminating in a thrilling Stanley Cup Final. The lessons learned during the off-season, the commitment to player development, and the emphasis on unity all contributed to the team's success. In the end, the Montreal Canadiens emerged victorious, capturing the Stanley Cup for the third consecutive year. The triumph was not just a testament to the talent of the players, but also to the foresight and wisdom of the front office. By resisting the urge to overreact, and instead focusing on subtle adjustments, they had secured the legacy of one of the most storied franchises in sports history. The season of 1958-59 became a defining moment for the Canadiens, a reminder that success is often built on patience, strategy, and a deep understanding of the game. The lessons learned during that off-season would resonate for years to come, reinforcing the importance of continuity and the value of thoughtful decision-making in the pursuit of greatness. The Montreal Canadiens continued to be a symbol of excellence in hockey, a testament to the enduring spirit of a franchise that remains deeply rooted in its rich history. In 1958-59, the Montreal Canadiens showcased a remarkable season in the National Hockey League. The Canadiens, known for their rich history and tradition, maintained an impressive level of consistency and efficiency throughout the regular season. Under the guidance of their coach, Toe Blake, the team emphasized a blend of skill, discipline, and strategic gameplay that would ultimately lead them to success. During this season, the Canadiens finished at the top of the league standings. Their gameplay patterns reflected a well-coordinated approach that emphasized both offensive prowess and defensive stability. The team scored a total of 225 goals over the course of the season, averaging approximately 3 goals per game. This offensive output was bolstered by a roster filled with talented players who understood the importance of teamwork and communication on the ice. One of the standout features of the Canadiens' gameplay was their ability to control the pace of the game. They often dictated the rhythm, using their skilled forwards to create scoring opportunities while relying on a solid defensive core to thwart opposing attacks. The Canadiens were adept at transitioning from defense to offense, often catching opponents off guard with quick breakouts that led to scoring chances. This fluid style of play kept their opponents on their toes and contributed significantly to their success. Statistical leaders emerged throughout the season, showcasing the depth of talent on the Canadiens' roster. The team's leading scorer was none other than Jean Béliveau, whose exceptional vision and playmaking ability made him a formidable presence on the ice. Béliveau recorded a total of 80 points, which included 30 goals and 50 assists. His ability to set up teammates and find the back of the net made him a key contributor to the Canadiens' offensive success. Another notable player during the season was Bernie Geoffrion, who was known for his powerful shot and scoring touch. Geoffrion finished the season with 35 goals, solidifying his reputation as one of the league's premier snipers. His scoring ability not only added to the Canadiens' offensive output, but also served as a source of inspiration for his teammates. The synergy between Béliveau and Geoffrion created a dynamic offensive duo that opposing defenses struggled to contain. The Canadiens' roster also featured a strong group of veterans who played pivotal roles in maintaining high standards throughout the season. Players like Henry Richard and Dickie Moore brought a wealth of experience and leadership to the team. Richard, known for his relentless work ethic and tenacity, contributed significantly to the Canadiens' success, finishing the season with a respectable point total. His ability to elevate his game in crucial moments made him an invaluable asset to the team. Defensively, the Canadiens were anchored by a talented group of defensemen, including Doug Harvey and Tom Johnson. Harvey, a Hall of Famer, was renowned for his exceptional skating ability and hockey intelligence. His presence on the blue line provided stability and allowed the Canadiens to play an aggressive style of defense. Johnson complemented Harvey's skill set with his physical play and strong positional awareness. Together, they formed a formidable defensive pairing that contributed to the team's overall success. In goal, the Canadiens relied on the steady play of Jacques Plante, one of the most iconic goaltenders in hockey history. Plante's calm demeanor and exceptional shot-stopping ability made him a cornerstone of the Canadiens' success. Throughout the season, he posted an impressive goals-against average, showcasing his ability to keep the puck out of the net. His unique style of play, including the use of a mask, revolutionized goaltending and set a new standard for future generations. The Canadiens' success during the 1958-59 season was not merely a result of individual talent, but also a reflection of their strong team chemistry. The players understood their roles and responsibilities, and they worked together to create a cohesive unit on the ice. This sense of unity was evident in their gameplay, as they often displayed a remarkable ability to anticipate each other's movements and make quick decisions under pressure. As the season progressed, the Canadiens continued to build momentum, maintaining their position at the top of the league standings. Their consistency was a testament to their hard work and dedication as they navigated through the challenges of the long regular season. Each game presented an opportunity for the team to showcase their skills and deepen their bond as teammates. The Canadiens faced various opponents throughout the season, each presenting its unique challenges. However, their ability to adapt to different styles of play was a hallmark of their success. Whether facing a fast-paced team or a more physical opponent, the Canadiens demonstrated versatility in their gameplay, allowing them to emerge victorious in many contests. As the playoffs approached, the Canadiens entered with a sense of confidence and determination. Their strong regular season performance had set the stage for a deep playoff run. The players were well aware of the rich history of the franchise and the expectations that came with wearing the Canadiens' jersey. They were committed to upholding the legacy of greatness that had been established by generations of players before them. In the playoffs, the Canadiens faced off against formidable opponents, each vying for the coveted Stanley Cup. Their experience and poise under pressure served them well as they navigated through the playoff rounds. The depth of their roster became increasingly evident as players stepped up in key moments to contribute to the team's success. As the Canadiens progressed through the playoffs, they displayed a relentless work ethic and an unwavering belief in their abilities. Each series brought its challenges, but the team remained focused on their ultimate goal. The combination of skill, determination, and a strong sense of unity propelled them forward as they aimed to capture the championship. Ultimately, the Canadiens' journey culminated in a triumphant victory in the Stanley Cup Finals. Their remarkable season had come full circle, and the culmination of their hard work and dedication was rewarded with the ultimate prize in hockey. The triumph was not just a reflection of individual talent, but a testament to the strength of the entire organization. In the aftermath of their championship victory, the Canadiens solidified their place in hockey history. Their success during the 1958-59 season became a defining moment for the franchise, one that would be remembered for generations. The legacy of the team, built on teamwork, skill, and resilience, continued to inspire future players and fans alike. As the years passed, the Canadiens' achievements during this season remained a source of pride for the franchise. The stories of their triumphs and challenges were passed down through the annals of hockey history, serving as a reminder of the enduring spirit of the Montreal Canadiens. Their commitment to excellence and their unwavering pursuit of victory would forever be etched in the hearts of those who cherished the game of hockey. In the spring of 1959, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves in a thrilling confrontation against their longtime rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, in the National Hockey League's Stanley Cup Final. This series, rich in history and tradition, was more than just a battle for the championship. It was a clash of two storied franchises that had been competing for decades. The Canadiens, a team known for their finesse and skill, faced the Maple Leafs, who were equally adept at physical play and aggression. The stakes could not have been higher, as the outcome of this series would not only determine the champion, but also add another chapter to the ongoing rivalry that defined Canadian hockey. The Canadiens entered the series with a reputation for being a well-structured team. Their roster was filled with talent, including legendary players such as Jean Béliveau, Maurice and Henri Richard. These athletes were not only skilled on the ice, but also possessed an innate understanding of the game. They knew how to remain composed under pressure, a trait that would prove crucial in the heat of the Stanley Cup Final. The coaching staff, led by the astute Toe Blake, emphasized discipline and teamwork. This approach allowed the Canadiens to maintain their focus, even when the games became intensely physical. As the series began, the excitement in the air was palpable. The first game took place at the Montreal Forum, a historic venue that had witnessed countless hockey battles. The atmosphere was electric, filled with fervent fans who had come to support their team. The Canadiens took an early lead, showcasing their trademark speed and skill. However, the Maple Leafs were not to be underestimated. They responded with a physical style of play, aiming to disrupt the Canadiens' rhythm. The tension escalated as both teams fought for control, and the game quickly became a test of wills. In the second game, the Canadiens traveled to Toronto, where the atmosphere was just as charged. The Maple Leafs, eager to defend their home ice, came out swinging. They played aggressively, trying to intimidate the Canadiens and gain the upper hand. Yet, the Canadiens remained unfazed. They executed their game plan with precision, relying on their defensive structure to absorb the Maple Leafs' attacks. It was a true showcase of composure under pressure. Even as the hits intensified, the Canadiens managed to stay focused on their objective, refusing to become rattled by the physicality of their opponents. As the series progressed, the tension reached new heights. Game 3 saw the Canadiens return to Montreal, where they faced a hostile crowd eager to see their team take control of the series. The Maple Leafs, buoyed by their previous success, came out strong. They scored early, putting the Canadiens on the defensive. But the Montreal squad, with their deep-rooted experience, did not panic. Instead, they relied on their defensive depth and strategic play to regain control. Each player understood their role, and they executed their strategies flawlessly, demonstrating the benefits of their structured approach. By the time Game 4 rolled around, both teams were feeling the weight of the series. The physical toll was apparent as players on both sides battled through injuries and fatigue. The Canadiens, however, remained resilient. Their ability to maintain a calm demeanor in the face of adversity was a testament to their mental fortitude. They understood that the series was a marathon, not a sprint. Each shift on the ice was a carefully calculated effort, designed to wear down their opponents and create scoring opportunities. The Canadiens' patience began to pay off as they found ways to exploit the Maple Leafs' defensive lapses. Game 5 was a pivotal moment in the series. The Canadiens had a chance to take a commanding lead and move within one game of the championship. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as the teams took to the ice. The Canadiens struck first, and the crowd erupted in cheers. Yet the Maple Leafs were determined to fight back. They scored a quick goal, igniting their fans and shifting the momentum. Still, the Canadiens did not lose their composure. They returned to their structured play, relying on their defensive prowess to stifle the Maple Leafs' attempts to take control of the game. As the final minutes of Game 5 approached, the tension in the building was palpable. Every pass, every shot, every hit carried immense significance. The Canadiens remained focused, executing their game plan with precision. They knew that the key to victory lay in maintaining their composure and not succumbing to the pressure of the moment. With each passing second, the players understood that they were on the brink of something special. The final buzzer sounded, and the Canadiens emerged victorious, taking a significant step toward claiming the Stanley Cup. With a 3-2 lead, the Canadiens returned to Toronto for Game 6. The atmosphere was electric, as fans filled the arena, eager to witness their team stave off elimination. The Maple Leafs, desperate to extend the series, came out with intensity. They played with a sense of urgency that was palpable. The Canadiens, however, remained unfazed. They relied on their experience and composure, continuing to execute their strategies, even as the pressure mounted. The game unfolded with moments of brilliance from both teams. The Canadiens showcased their skillful play, executing beautiful passing sequences that left the Maple Leafs scrambling on defense. Yet the Maple Leafs responded with their own bursts of offensive pressure. As the game progressed, it became clear that the outcome would hinge on which team could maintain their composure in the face of adversity. As the clock wound down, the tension reached a fever pitch. The Canadiens held a slim lead, but the Maple Leafs were relentless in their pursuit of the equalizer. The final minutes were a whirlwind of activity, as both teams pressed for an advantage. The Canadiens' defense held strong, absorbing the pressure and executing crucial plays to keep the Maple Leafs at bay. With each passing moment, the Canadiens' resolve was tested, yet they continued to remain calm and focused. Finally, the final buzzer sounded, signaling the end of the game. The Canadiens had done it. They had triumphed over their rivals, winning the Stanley Cup for the second consecutive year. The jubilation in the arena was palpable, as players embraced, celebrating their hard-fought victory. The Canadiens' ability to stay structured and composed in the face of adversity had proven to be the difference. Their victory was not just a testament to their skill, but also to their mental fortitude. In the aftermath of the series, the Canadiens' victory over the Maple Leafs was celebrated throughout Montreal. The team had once again etched its name in the annals of hockey history, adding another championship to their storied legacy. The rivalry between the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs continued, but this series would forever be remembered as a defining moment for the Canadiens. Their ability to maintain calmness and structure during critical moments had solidified their status as one of the greatest teams in the history of the National Hockey League. The spring of 1959 was not just a season of hockey, it was a testament to the resilience and determination of the Montreal Canadiens. The lessons learned during that Stanley Cup Final would echo through the years, reminding future generations of the importance of composure, teamwork, and strategy in the pursuit of greatness. The Canadiens' legacy, built on a foundation of skill and mental fortitude, would continue to inspire players and fans alike for generations to come. The Montreal Canadiens, a team steeped in rich history and tradition, experienced a golden era from 1956 to 1959. During this time, they were not merely carried by their star players, but also by a cadre of role players who made significant contributions to the team's success. Each of these players brought unique skills and characteristics that complemented the Canadiens' style of play, enhancing their overall performance on the ice. Tom Johnson, a defenseman known for his steady and reliable play, was a key figure during this period. Johnson's ability to read the game allowed him to anticipate the moves of opposing players, making him an invaluable asset on the blue line. His calm demeanor and sharp hockey sense provided a stabilizing force for the team. Johnson was not just a defensive stalwart. He also contributed offensively, often joining the rush and creating opportunities for his teammates. His contributions were often overshadowed by the flashier forwards, yet his consistent performance was crucial in maintaining the Canadiens' defensive structure. Another integral player during this era was Bert Olmsted. Olmsted was known for his exceptional passing ability and vision on the ice. As a left winger, he possessed a unique blend of skill and tenacity. His work ethic was unmatched, and he often set the tone for his teammates with his relentless pursuit of the puck. Olmsted's ability to play both ends of the ice made him a versatile player, and he was often relied upon in critical situations. His chemistry with the team's star forwards allowed him to facilitate scoring opportunities, often providing the perfect pass that led to crucial goals. Don Marshall, a center who played with grit and determination, also left a lasting impact on the Canadiens during this time. Marshall was not the most flamboyant player, but his contributions were essential. He excelled in the face-off circle, providing his team with possession and opportunities to control the game. His tireless work ethic and physical style of play made him a fan favorite. Marshall's ability to dig pucks out of corners and his willingness to go to the dirty areas of the ice exemplified the blue-collar mentality that defined the Canadiens during this era. The team during this period was a well-oiled machine, with players like Johnson, Olmsted, and Marshall filling crucial roles. Their contributions were often overlooked, yet they formed the backbone of the team. The Canadiens had a roster filled with talent, but it was the cohesion and teamwork that truly set them apart. Each player understood their role and executed it with precision, allowing the team to thrive. In 1956, the Canadiens were coming off a successful season, having captured the Stanley Cup. The momentum from that victory carried into the following seasons, as the team continued to build on their success. The combination of seasoned veterans and emerging talent created an environment ripe for achievement. The Canadiens were not just a collection of individual stars, they were a unit that functioned seamlessly together. As the seasons progressed, the Canadiens showcased their dominance in the National Hockey League. In 1957, they once again found themselves at the top of the league standings. The contributions of role players became even more evident during the playoffs. Each game presented new challenges, and it was the unsung heroes who often rose to the occasion. Their ability to perform under pressure was a testament to their character and commitment to the team. The 1958 season saw the Canadiens continuing their winning ways. The team's depth was on full display, as injuries and fatigue began to take their toll on the roster. Yet players like Johnson, Olmsted, and Marshall stepped up, ensuring that the Canadiens remained competitive. Their ability to adapt and fill gaps left by injured teammates demonstrated the strength of the team's overall structure. The Canadiens were not just relying on their superstars, they were a collective force, unified in their pursuit of victory. By 1959, the Canadiens had solidified their status as one of the most successful franchises in the league. They captured their fourth consecutive Stanley Cup, a feat that had not been accomplished in years. The contributions of role players were integral to this success. Their performances were often gritty and selfless, embodying the spirit of teamwork that defined the Canadiens. In the playoffs, it was not uncommon to see players like Olmsted and Marshall stepping up in crucial moments, making key plays that turned the tide of games. The legacy of the Canadiens during this period extends beyond the trophies and accolades. It is a story of teamwork, resilience, and the importance of every player on the roster. The role players, while perhaps not receiving the same level of recognition as the stars, were vital in creating a culture of excellence. Their contributions allowed the Canadiens to thrive, establishing a standard that would be looked upon fondly by future generations. As the years have passed, the history of the Montreal Canadiens continues to be celebrated. The team has produced countless legends, but the stories of players like Tom Johnson, Bert Olmsted, and Don Marshall serve as a reminder of the importance of every player in the pursuit of greatness. Their contributions may not always make the highlight reels, but they are woven into the fabric of the franchise's storied history. In reflecting on the Canadiens' success from 1956 to 1959, it is clear that the contributions of role players were invaluable. Their dedication, skill, and teamwork helped to forge a legacy that is still revered today. The Montreal Canadiens are not just a team, they are a symbol of excellence in hockey, and the role players were an essential part of that journey. Their stories, while sometimes overshadowed by the stars, are a vital part of the narrative that defines one of the most successful franchises in professional sports. In 1956, the Montreal Canadiens began a remarkable era of defensive excellence that would shape the team's legacy and influence the game of hockey for decades to come. This period, extending through 1959, saw the Canadiens develop one of the most cohesive defensive systems in National Hockey League history. The players, coaches, and management all played vital roles in crafting a style of play that was both effective and aesthetically pleasing. Their ability to communicate, position themselves, and control the game without succumbing to chaos became a hallmark of their success. At the heart of this defensive system was the legendary coach Toe Blake. He understood that hockey is not merely a game of individual skill, but rather a symphony of teamwork and strategy. Blake emphasized the importance of positioning and anticipation. He instilled in his players the need to read the game and each other's movements. This understanding allowed the Canadiens to maintain a disciplined structure, even when faced with the frenetic pace of the NHL. The players were taught to think several steps ahead, anticipating their opponent's actions and adjusting their positioning accordingly. The defensemen, led by the likes of Doug Harvey and Tom Johnson, were instrumental in executing this vision. Harvey, often regarded as one of the greatest defensemen in hockey history, possessed an uncanny ability to control the flow of the game. His skating ability, combined with his keen sense of timing, allowed him to break up plays before they developed. He was not merely a defender, he was a playmaker who could transition the puck from defense to offense seamlessly. His presence on the ice instilled confidence in his teammates, allowing them to play with a sense of freedom within the structure of the system. Communication was another cornerstone of the Canadiens' defensive success. The players developed a unique bond, both on and off the ice. This camaraderie translated into an intuitive understanding during games. They could anticipate one another's movements, without needing to verbalize every instruction. This silent communication was particularly evident during critical moments of the game, where split-second decisions could determine the outcome. The defensemen would often position themselves in such a way that they could cover for one another, ensuring that there were always multiple layers of protection against opposing forwards. Furthermore, the Canadiens' ability to control the game was a product of their disciplined approach. They seldom allowed themselves to be drawn into chaotic situations. Instead, they maintained a composed demeanor, even in the face of aggressive offensive plays from their opponents. This level of composure was cultivated through rigorous training and a deep understanding of the game. Each player knew their role and executed it with precision. The forwards, too, played a critical role in this system. They were not just tasked with scoring goals, they were also responsible for back-checking and supporting the defense. This collective effort created a formidable wall against which opposing teams found it difficult to succeed. In 1957, the Canadiens faced the Detroit Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Final. The series was a test of wills, showcasing not only the skill of the players but also the effectiveness of the Canadiens' defensive system. The Red Wings boasted a high-powered offense, featuring the likes of Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay. However, the Canadiens' disciplined approach stifled their scoring opportunities. Doug Harvey's exceptional play, combined with the cohesive efforts of his fellow defensemen, made it nearly impossible for the Red Wings to establish any rhythm. The Canadiens won the series, claiming their second consecutive Stanley Cup and reinforcing their reputation as a defensive powerhouse. As the years progressed, the Canadiens continued to refine their defensive strategies. In 1958, they introduced a more aggressive forechecking system, which required forwards to pressure the opposing defenseman as soon as the puck was turned over. This tactic not only disrupted the opponent's breakout plays, but also allowed the Canadiens to regain possession quickly. The team's commitment to this style of play paid dividends, as they captured yet another Stanley Cup that season. Their ability to maintain a balance between aggressive play and defensive responsibility set a new standard in the league. The following season, in 1959, the Canadiens would face the Toronto Maple Leafs in yet another Stanley Cup Final. This rivalry was steeped in history and was often characterized by intense battles on the ice. The Maple Leafs, known for their own skilled players, presented a significant challenge. However, the Canadiens' defensive system proved to be the deciding factor once again. The players executed their roles flawlessly, demonstrating an understanding of the game that was almost telepathic. The defensemen supported the forwards, while the forwards provided back pressure to assist the defense. This synergy allowed the Canadiens to neutralize the Maple Leafs' offensive threats effectively. Throughout this era, the Montreal Canadiens established a legacy that would influence future generations of hockey players and coaches. The principles of positioning, communication, and control that they embodied became foundational elements of defensive play in the NHL. Their success was not merely a product of individual talent, but rather the result of a collective commitment to a shared vision. The Canadiens taught the hockey world that a cohesive defensive system could be just as beautiful and effective as a high-scoring offense. In reflecting on this period, it is essential to acknowledge the impact of individual players within the team framework. Beyond Doug Harvey, other notable figures such as Jean Béliveau and Henri Richard contributed to the Canadiens' success. Béliveau, known for his grace and poise, was not only a scoring threat, but also a responsible two-way player. His ability to transition from offense to defense seamlessly made him an invaluable asset. Henri Richard, often overshadowed by his brother Maurice Richard, carved out his own legacy as a fierce competitor and a reliable defensive forward. Together, these players exemplified the spirit of the Canadiens during this golden age. As the 1960s approached, the Canadiens would continue to build upon the foundations laid during this remarkable period. The lessons learned in positioning, communication, and control would resonate through the decades, influencing the next generation of players. The Canadiens became a template for success, demonstrating that a well-structured defensive system could dominate the league and pave the way for championship victories. In conclusion, the Montreal Canadiens from 1956 to 1959 forged a defensive legacy that remains unmatched in the annals of hockey history. Their ability to work as a cohesive unit, communicate effectively, and control the pace of the game without chaos set them apart from their contemporaries. Under the guidance of Toe Blake, the team developed a style of play that would not only win championships, but also leave an indelible mark on the sport. The principles established during this era continue to resonate within the game today, reminding us all of the beauty of teamwork and the art of defense in hockey. In 1959-60, the Montreal Canadiens continued their storied legacy, showcasing a remarkable season filled with tenacity, skill, and a deep sense of camaraderie. Under the guidance of their head coach, Toe Blake, the Canadiens demonstrated a consistency that would become the hallmark of their franchise. The regular season saw them finishing at the top of the National Hockey League standings, a position they had grown accustomed to over the years. Their performance was not merely a reflection of individual talent, but rather a testament to the cohesive unit they had forged. The Canadiens were blessed with a cadre of seasoned veterans, each bringing a wealth of experience and leadership to the ice. Players like Jean Béliveau, Maurice and Doug Harvey were not just stars, they were icons of the sport. Jean Béliveau, often revered for his grace and vision, led the team with his remarkable ability to create opportunities. His presence on the ice instilled a sense of confidence in his teammates. Maurice, known as the Rocket, was a relentless force, his goal-scoring prowess unmatched. He played with an intensity that inspired those around him, embodying the spirit of the Canadiens. Doug Harvey, a defenseman of exceptional skill, was the backbone of the team, his ability to read the game and control the pace crucial to the Canadiens' success. Throughout the season, the Canadiens exhibited a remarkable level of health. Injuries can often derail a team's momentum, but this particular squad seemed to evade the injury bug, allowing them to maintain a steady lineup. The depth of their roster also played a significant role. Young talents such as Yvan Cournoyer and Claude Provost emerged, providing fresh energy and skill. Cournoyer, with his speed and agility, quickly became a fan favorite, while Provost's tenacity and work ethic exemplified the Canadiens' commitment to teamwork. As the season progressed, the Canadiens continued to build on their successes. The chemistry developed during games translated into a formidable on-ice presence. Their ability to read each other's movements allowed them to anticipate plays, creating a seamless flow that was beautiful to behold. This kind of synergy is often the difference between a good team and a great one, and the Canadiens were undoubtedly a great team. The regular season culminated in a series of impressive performances. The Canadiens showcased their offensive firepower, regularly outscoring their opponents. They employed a fast-paced style of play, characterized by quick transitions from defense to offense. The ability to capitalize on scoring opportunities was a key aspect of their strategy. Game after game, they demonstrated a relentless pursuit of victory, each player contributing to the collective goal of securing another championship. As the playoffs approached, the Canadiens were not just a team riding a wave of success. They were a force to be reckoned with. Their confidence grew with each win, and the anticipation of competing for the Stanley Cup loomed large. The players knew the importance of maintaining their focus and dedication. They had a singular goal: to add another championship banner to the rafters of the Forum, a place that had witnessed so many glorious moments in hockey history. The playoff format during this era was different from what it is today, and only the top teams competed for the coveted prize. The Canadiens entered the postseason with the knowledge that they were the team to beat. Their reputation preceded them, and opponents were acutely aware of the challenge that lay ahead. The Canadiens had a storied history of success, and they were determined to continue that legacy. In the first round of the playoffs, the Canadiens faced the New York Rangers. The Rangers, a formidable opponent, had their own ambitions, but the Canadiens' experience shone through. With each game, the Canadiens showcased their depth and resilience. They played with a level of intensity that left their opponents struggling to keep pace. The series was hard-fought, but the Canadiens emerged victorious, advancing to the next round and inching closer to their ultimate goal. The second round matched them against the Chicago Blackhawks, another historic franchise with a rich hockey tradition. The rivalry between these two teams was palpable. The games were filled with tension and excitement, drawing fans into a frenzy. The Canadiens continued to execute their game plan flawlessly, leveraging their veteran leadership to guide them through the challenges. Each game was a battle, but the Canadiens' determination and skill prevailed, sending them to the finals. In the finals, they would face the Detroit Red Wings, another powerhouse in the league. The anticipation surrounding this matchup was electric. Both teams had storied histories and passionate fan bases. The Canadiens entered the series with a sense of purpose, fully aware of what was at stake. The games were marked by fierce competition, with both teams displaying their best hockey. The Canadiens relied on their depth, drawing on the contributions of every player. Each goal was hard-earned, and each save a testament to the skill of their goaltender, Charlie Hodge. As the series progressed, the Canadiens demonstrated their ability to rise to the occasion. They played with an intensity that was palpable, each player stepping up when it mattered most. The leadership of their veterans was crucial during these moments. They understood the pressure of the situation and guided their younger teammates through the emotional roller coaster of the finals. The Canadiens' experience allowed them to maintain their composure, even in the face of adversity. The culmination of the playoffs was a momentous occasion. The Canadiens emerged victorious, lifting the Stanley Cup high above their heads, a symbol of their hard work and dedication. It was a celebration of not just a season, but a legacy that had been built over decades. The triumph was bittersweet for some of the veterans, knowing that this chapter of their careers was drawing to a close. Yet, they celebrated together, a unified team that had achieved greatness. The 1959-60 season remains etched in the annals of hockey history. It was a season defined by leadership, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. The Montreal Canadiens, through their remarkable journey, illustrated the essence of teamwork and the spirit of competition. Their legacy continued to inspire future generations, a testament to the power of perseverance and the love of the game. As the echoes of cheers faded and the lights dimmed on the ice, the story of the Canadiens was far from over. Their journey would continue, with new challenges and triumphs waiting just around the corner. The spirit of the Canadiens, a beacon of hope and determination, would forever shine bright in the world of hockey. In 1960, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves on the precipice of history, poised to secure their fifth consecutive Stanley Cup title. This achievement would not only solidify their dominance in the National Hockey League, but also mark a significant moment in the career of one of hockey's greatest legends, Maurice "Rocket" Richard. As the Canadiens prepared to face their arch-rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, anticipation filled the air. The rivalry between these two teams was fierce, steeped in decades of competition and passionate fan loyalty. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown, with both teams eager to claim victory and etch their names in the annals of hockey history. The series began on April 5, 1960. The atmosphere in the Montreal Forum was electric, with a sea of red, white, and blue filling the stands. Fans eagerly awaited the puck drop, their hopes resting on the shoulders of their beloved Canadiens. As the game commenced, the intensity was palpable. The Canadiens showcased their trademark style of play, characterized by swift skating, precise passing, and relentless pressure. Led by the inspirational presence of Rocket Richard, the team displayed a level of skill and determination that was unmatched. In the first game of the series, the Canadiens wasted no time asserting their dominance. They stormed onto the ice, taking control of the puck early and establishing a rhythm that would prove difficult for the Maple Leafs to disrupt. Richard, in particular, was a force to be reckoned with. His speed and agility allowed him to navigate through the opposing defense with ease. As the game progressed, Richard's presence loomed larger, and it became clear that he was determined to leave his mark on this pivotal series. With a powerful shot, he opened the scoring, sending the crowd into a frenzy. The Canadians continued to build on their lead, ultimately winning the game with a decisive score. The second game followed on April 7th, and the Canadians were eager to maintain their momentum. The Maple Leafs, however, were not to be underestimated. They fought back valiantly, seeking to reclaim their place in the series. The game unfolded with a back-and-forth intensity, each team trading chances and showcasing their defensive prowess. Yet it was Richard who once again emerged as the hero. In a moment of sheer brilliance, he found himself in a position to score. With a flick of his wrist, he sent the puck soaring into the net, solidifying his status as a hockey icon. The Canadians ultimately emerged victorious once more, leaving the Maple Leafs in a precarious position as they headed into the third game. By April 9th, the Canadians were riding high, leading the series 2-0. The atmosphere in Toronto was charged with anticipation as the Maple Leafs prepared to host the Canadians for the third game. The home crowd was hopeful, yearning for a spark that could reignite their team's chances. However, the Canadians showed no signs of letting up. They entered the arena with a quiet confidence, knowing that victory would bring them one step closer to a historic fifth straight championship. As the game unfolded, the intensity reached new heights. The Maple Leafs fought hard, desperate to claw their way back into the series. Yet despite their best efforts, they struggled to contain the relentless attack of the Canadians. Richard, ever the opportunist, seized a moment of hesitation in the Maple Leafs' defense. With characteristic finesse, he maneuvered around defenders and unleashed a powerful shot that found the back of the net. This goal not only extended the Canadians' lead, but also served as a bittersweet reminder of Richard's impending retirement. The fourth game took place on April 11th, and the Canadians stood on the brink of history. They were one win away from claiming the Stanley Cup yet again. The stakes were high, and the pressure was palpable. As the puck dropped, both teams knew that this game would be pivotal. The Maple Leafs, desperate to avoid elimination, came out swinging. They played with a fervor that echoed through the arena. The tension mounted as the first period unfolded, with both teams exchanging chances, but failing to convert. It was in the second period that the Canadians began to assert their dominance once more. Richard, with his keen sense of the game, positioned himself perfectly to receive a pass from a teammate. As he skated towards the net, the crowd held its breath. With a swift motion, Richard released a shot that seemed to defy physics. The puck soared past the goaltender, and the arena erupted in cheers. This goal not only solidified the Canadians' lead, but also marked a poignant moment in Richard's illustrious career. As the game progressed, the Canadians continued to apply pressure, showcasing their skill and teamwork. The Maple Leafs fought valiantly, but it became clear that the Canadians were in control. With each passing minute, the realization that the Stanley Cup was within reach became more tangible. As the final period unfolded, the atmosphere was electric. The Canadians maintained their composure, executing their game plan with precision. Finally, as the clock wound down, the moment every Canadiens fan had been waiting for arrived. The final buzzer sounded, signaling the end of the game and the series. The Canadiens had done it once again. They had swept the Maple Leafs, claiming their fifth consecutive Stanley Cup title. The arena erupted in celebration, and players embraced one another on the ice. Yet, amid the jubilation, there was a sense of bittersweet reflection. Maurice Richard, the Rocket, had played his final game. As he skated around the rink, soaking in the adulation of the fans, a mix of pride and melancholy washed over him. He had etched his name into the history books, leaving behind a legacy that would endure long after his skates had been hung up. The series against the Maple Leafs in 1960 was not just a testament to the Canadiens' dominance in the league, but also a celebration of the spirit of hockey itself. It was a time when rivalries ran deep, and the passion of the fans fueled the game. The legacy of the Canadiens, intertwined with the story of Rocket Richard, would continue to inspire generations of players and fans alike. As the years passed, the memories of that series remained vivid in the minds of those who witnessed it. The Canadiens' victory became a symbol of excellence, a reminder of what it meant to be part of a storied franchise. Maurice Richard's final goals resonated beyond the ice, encapsulating the essence of a player who had dedicated his life to the sport. In the end, the Canadiens' sweep of the Maple Leafs in 1960 was more than just a championship win. It was a celebration of skill, determination, and the enduring spirit of hockey. The legacy of that series, and the impact of Rocket Richard, would continue to be felt for generations, a testament to the power of sport to unite and inspire. In 1960, the Montreal Canadiens reached a significant milestone, capturing their fourth consecutive Stanley Cup. This triumph was not merely a testament to their skill, but also a poignant moment in the history of the franchise, as they bid farewell to one of hockey's greatest legends, Maurice Richard. Richard's departure marked the end of an era, one that had profoundly shaped the identity of the Canadiens and the National Hockey League as a whole. Maurice Richard, affectionately known as the Rocket, began his illustrious career with the Canadiens in 1942. His speed, skill, and competitive spirit quickly distinguished him as a player of extraordinary talent. Richard became known for his remarkable goal-scoring ability, a feat that was not only a personal achievement, but also a source of inspiration for his teammates and fans alike. With a fierce determination and an unyielding drive, he transformed the way the game was played, leaving an indelible mark on the sport. Throughout his career, Richard's contributions to the Canadiens were monumental. He was a pivotal figure in the team's success, leading them to 8 Stanley Cup championships during his time with the franchise. His impact extended beyond the ice, as he became a symbol of hope and pride for the French-speaking population of Quebec. Richard's prowess on the ice resonated deeply within the community, fostering a sense of identity and unity among fans. His fierce competitiveness and passion for the game captivated audiences, making him a beloved figure in Montreal and beyond. In the 1955-56 season, Richard reached a milestone that would further cement his legacy. He became the first player in National Hockey League history to score 50 goals in a single season. This remarkable achievement ignited a new passion for goal scoring in the league, inspiring future generations of players to push the boundaries of their abilities. Richard's relentless pursuit of excellence set a standard that many would strive to emulate, elevating the level of competition across the league. As the years progressed, Richard continued to break records and challenge conventions. He became the first player to score 5 goals in a single playoff game, a feat that showcased his extraordinary talent and determination. His ability to perform under pressure made him a clutch player, one who thrived in crucial moments. Richard's tenacity on the ice was matched only by his unwavering dedication to his team. He was a leader, both vocally and through his actions, inspiring those around him to elevate their game. However, as the 1960s approached, the winds of change began to sweep through the Canadiens organization. Richard's career was not without its challenges. Injuries took their toll, and the physical demands of the game began to weigh heavily on him. Despite these obstacles, Richard remained a formidable force on the ice, demonstrating resilience and an unwavering commitment to the sport he loved. His influence on his teammates was profound, as they looked to him for guidance and inspiration during moments of adversity. In 1960, as the Canadiens celebrated yet another Stanley Cup victory, the reality of Richard's impending retirement began to settle in. The decision was not an easy one for him, as he had dedicated his life to the game. Yet, he recognized that the time had come to pass the torch to the next generation of players. Richard's departure signaled the end of an era, not only for the Canadiens but for the entire league. His legacy would continue to resonate, shaping the future of hockey for years to come. The impact of Richard's retirement was felt deeply within the Canadiens organization. His presence in the locker room and on the ice had been a unifying force, a beacon of hope and determination. Teammates who had grown alongside him now faced the challenge of stepping into the void left by such a legendary figure. The transition was not without its difficulties, as the Canadiens sought to maintain their winning culture while navigating the changes brought about by Richard's departure. In the years following Richard's retirement, the Canadiens continued to build on the foundation he had laid. New stars emerged, each bringing their own unique talents to the team. However, the shadow of Richard's legacy loomed large, serving as both inspiration and a reminder of the high standards he had set. The Canadiens remained a dominant force in the league, yet the absence of the Rocket was keenly felt by players and fans alike. Richard's influence extended beyond the ice, as he became a celebrated figure in Canadian culture. His story resonated with many, transcending the boundaries of sport. He became a symbol of perseverance, embodying the spirit of those who overcame adversity to achieve greatness. His legacy lived on in the hearts of fans, who continued to honor his contributions to the game and the community. In the years that followed, the Canadiens faced their own challenges, navigating the complexities of a changing league. New rules and strategies evolved, and the game itself began to transform. Yet the spirit of Maurice Richard remained a guiding light for the franchise. His commitment to excellence and his love for the game inspired new generations of players who sought to follow in his footsteps. As the Montreal Canadiens moved forward, they carried with them the lessons imparted by Richard. His dedication to his craft, his resilience in the face of adversity, and his unwavering commitment to his teammates became the cornerstones of the team's identity. The Canadiens continued to honor Richard's legacy, celebrating his contributions to the franchise and the sport of hockey. In the decades that followed, the Canadiens would go on to achieve further success, capturing additional Stanley Cup championships and solidifying their place as one of the most storied franchises in the league. Yet the memory of Maurice Richard would forever remain etched in the fabric of the organization. He was more than just a player, he was a pioneer, a trailblazer, who had redefined the game and inspired countless individuals to pursue their dreams. The legacy of Maurice Richard serves as a reminder of the profound impact one individual can have on a community and a sport. His story is not just one of triumphs and accolades, but of determination and resilience in the face of challenges. As the Canadiens continue to build their future, they do so with the knowledge that they stand on the shoulders of giants. Maurice Richard's spirit lives on, inspiring players and fans alike to strive for greatness, both on and off the ice. In 1961, the Montreal Canadiens found themselves at a crossroads. The team had enjoyed a golden era, marked by the presence of legendary players such as Maurice Richard. Richard, often referred to as the Rocket, had retired in 1960, leaving a void that would not be easily filled. His departure marked the end of an era, not just for the player, but for the very fabric of the franchise. The Canadiens were no longer the team that dominated the National Hockey League, winning 5 consecutive championships from 1956 to 1960. They had to adjust to a new reality, one that would test their resilience and adaptability. The roster underwent significant changes, as management sought to redefine the team's identity. The Canadiens had long been known for their explosive offensive play, largely fueled by Richard's unparalleled scoring ability. With his absence, the team needed to explore new avenues for success. The front office began to emphasize a more balanced approach, one that would involve bolstering the defensive side of the game while still maintaining a potent offense. This shift was not without its challenges, as the players grappled with the changing dynamics both on and off the ice. In 1961, the Canadiens still boasted a talented roster, yet it lacked the cohesion that had characterized their championship teams. Players like Jean Béliveau and Henri Richard remained key figures, but the pressure to fill the void left by Maurice Richard weighed heavily on their shoulders. Béliveau, known for his grace and skill, was tasked with leading the charge. He was a natural leader, possessing the ability to inspire his teammates even in the face of adversity. Henri Richard, Maurice's younger brother, was also a vital piece of the puzzle. He brought a tenacity and work ethic that complemented Béliveau's finesse. The Canadiens also welcomed new faces to the organization, players who would eventually become integral to the team's future. Young talents like Reggie Fleming and Dick Duff began to emerge, showcasing their skills and contributing to the team's efforts. However, the transition was not seamless. The chemistry that had once existed among the players was still in flux. It would take time for the new arrivals to find their place within the team's structure, and for the veterans to adjust to their new roles. As the season progressed, the Canadiens faced a multitude of challenges. The competition within the league was fierce, with other teams also evolving and adapting to the changing landscape of professional hockey. The Toronto Maple Leafs, New York Rangers, and Chicago Blackhawks were formidable opponents, each boasting strong rosters and their own legacies. The Canadiens could no longer rely solely on their storied history. They had to prove themselves anew in a league that was rapidly changing. The 1961 season saw the Canadiens struggle with consistency. They experienced both highs and lows, with stretches of impressive play, followed by disappointing losses. The fans, who had grown accustomed to witnessing greatness, were beginning to feel a sense of unease. The once dominant franchise was now in the midst of a slow fade from its dynasty status. The pressure to perform weighed heavily on the players, and the expectations from the passionate Montreal crowd only intensified. Despite the challenges, there were moments of brilliance that shone through the season. The Canadiens showcased flashes of their former glory, reminding fans of the team's potential. The game against the Chicago Blackhawks on January 17, 1961, became a memorable highlight. In this match, the Canadiens displayed their offensive prowess, scoring a remarkable 6 goals. The victory was a testament to their capabilities, igniting hope among the fan base that the team could reclaim its former dominance. However, the inconsistency persisted, and the Canadiens found themselves battling for playoff positioning as the regular season drew to a close. The team finished the season with a record that reflected their struggles, earning them a spot in the playoffs but not the home ice advantage they had come to expect. The playoffs would be a proving ground, a place where the Canadiens could either reaffirm their legacy or further cement their decline. In the playoffs, the Canadiens faced off against the Detroit Red Wings, a team with its own storied history and a roster filled with talent. The series was hard-fought, with both teams showcasing their skills and determination. The Canadiens aimed to harness their experience and the leadership of Béliveau and Henri Richard to navigate the challenges ahead. However, the Red Wings proved to be a formidable opponent, and the series became a test of wills. As the series unfolded, the Canadiens struggled to find their rhythm against the Red Wings. The games were intense, filled with moments of tension and excitement. The Canadiens fought valiantly, but they were unable to match the Red Wings' offensive firepower. The series concluded with the Canadiens being eliminated, marking the end of a season that had begun with hope but ultimately fell short of expectations. The aftermath of the 1961 season brought about a period of reflection for the Canadiens. The organization recognized the need for change. The franchise could no longer rely on past glories. It had to evolve. The front office began to reassess player acquisitions, scouting and development to ensure the team could reclaim its place among the elite. The Canadiens began to lay the groundwork for a new generation of players who would help the franchise return to prominence. In the following years, the Canadiens continued to navigate through the complexities of roster turnover and team dynamics. They would gradually begin to rebuild, focusing on young talents and nurturing their development. The organization emphasized the importance of creating a cohesive team, one that could blend the experience of veterans with the energy of newcomers. The lessons learned during the 1961 season would serve as a foundation for future successes. The Montreal Canadiens' journey through the early 60s was not merely a story of decline, but rather one of adaptation and resilience. It illustrated the complexities of professional sports, where change is constant and the ability to evolve is crucial. The Canadiens would eventually find their footing once again, returning to the top of the league in the years that followed. Their rich history, marked by both triumphs and tribulations, would continue to shape their identity as one of the most storied franchises in the National Hockey League. In the years that followed, the Canadiens would build upon the lessons learned in 1961. The organization would invest in scouting and player development, ensuring a steady influx of talent. The franchise would also focus on fostering a culture of excellence, one that emphasized teamwork, discipline, and a commitment to winning. The echoes of Maurice Richards' legacy would continue to resonate, inspiring future generations of players and fans alike. As the Canadiens forged ahead, they would face new challenges and opportunities. The evolution of the game itself would present hurdles, with changing strategies and styles of play. Yet, through it all, the spirit of the Montreal Canadiens remained intact. The franchise would continue to be a beacon of hope for its passionate fan base, a testament to the enduring power of sports to bring people together. In retrospect, the 1961 season served as a pivotal moment in the history of the Montreal Canadiens. It marked the beginning of a transition, a time when the franchise had to confront its identity and purpose. While the road ahead would not always be smooth, the lessons learned during this period would ultimately contribute to the rich tapestry of the Canadiens' storied legacy. The Montreal Canadiens, founded in 1892, are one of the most storied franchises in the history of professional sports. Their legacy in the National Hockey League, or NHL, is not just about the number of championships won, but also about the profound impact they have had on the game itself, the culture surrounding it, and the emotional connection they fostered with their fans. The Canadiens are often seen as the standard-bearers of hockey excellence, and their influence can be traced through various periods, especially during their dynasty years from 1956 to 1966. In the late 1950s, the Canadiens began to build a team that would dominate the NHL for the next decade. Under the guidance of legendary coach Toe Blake, the team embraced a philosophy that emphasized speed, skill, and teamwork. The Canadiens were known for their fluid style of play, which was characterized by quick passes and relentless forechecking. This approach not only thrilled fans, but also set a new standard for how the game could be played. The Canadiens were not just a team, they were a beacon of innovation and excellence in hockey. Key players emerged during this period, each contributing to the Canadiens' legacy in unique ways. Maurice Richard, known as the Rocket, was one of the first superstars of the NHL. His scoring prowess and fierce competitive spirit captured the imagination of fans and set the stage for future generations of players. Richard's impact extended beyond the rink. He became a symbol of pride for the French-speaking population of Quebec. His on-ice achievements and off-ice persona helped to galvanize a community that often felt marginalized. Richard's influence was profound, and his legacy paved the way for future stars. As the 1960s unfolded, the Canadiens continued to build on their success. The arrival of Jean Béliveau brought a new level of sophistication to the team. Béliveau was not only a gifted player, but also a charismatic leader. His grace on the ice and his sportsmanship made him a beloved figure among fans. Béliveau's ability to perform under pressure was instrumental in the Canadiens' success, especially during the playoffs. He was a key player in the team's run to the Stanley Cup, contributing both as a scorer and as a playmaker. The Canadiens' dynasty reached its zenith in 1965, when they won their fifth consecutive Stanley Cup, a feat that had never been accomplished before and has not been replicated since. This achievement was not just a testament to the skill of the players, but also to the strategic brilliance of the coaching staff. The Canadiens had mastered the art of playoff hockey, knowing how to elevate their game when it mattered most. The combination of talent, strategy, and mental fortitude made them a formidable opponent. During this dynasty, the Canadiens also played a significant role in the cultural landscape of Canada. Hockey was more than just a sport. It was a way of life for many Canadians. The success of the Canadiens helped to solidify hockey's status as the national pastime. The team's games were events that brought families together, creating memories that would last a lifetime. The Canadiens' success fostered a sense of identity and pride, particularly among French-speaking Canadians, who saw the team as a representation of their culture and aspirations. The emotional connection between the Canadiens and their fans was palpable. The atmosphere at the Montreal Forum during home games was electric. Fans would fill the arena, creating a sea of red, white, and blue. Their chants and cheers reverberated throughout the building, fostering a sense of unity and belonging. The Canadiens were not just a team, they were a source of hope and joy for many. The players understood this connection and often expressed their gratitude to the fans for their unwavering support. As the 1960s progressed, the Canadiens faced new challenges. The expansion of the NHL in 1967 introduced new teams and increased competition. While the Canadiens continued to excel, the landscape of the league was changing. New franchises brought fresh rivalries and heightened the intensity of the competition. The Canadiens had to adapt to this new environment while maintaining their commitment to excellence. The emergence of new stars, such as Guy Lafleur in the early 1970s, signaled a new era for the Canadiens. Lafleur's explosive speed and scoring ability captivated fans and helped to usher in another successful chapter for the franchise. His dynamic style of play resonated with a new generation of hockey enthusiasts, and he became a symbol of the Canadiens' continued relevance in the ever-evolving world of professional hockey. Throughout the decades, the Canadiens have remained a cornerstone of the NHL. Their legacy is woven into the fabric of the sport, influencing countless players, coaches, and teams. The lessons learned during their dynasty years continue to resonate. The importance of teamwork, dedication, and a strong work ethic are values that have been embraced by subsequent generations of hockey players. The Canadiens' impact extends beyond the ice. They have been a source of inspiration for many, and their story has been told through various mediums, including documentaries, books, and films. The franchise's rich history is celebrated not only by fans in Montreal but by hockey enthusiasts around the world. The Canadiens have become synonymous with the spirit of the game, representing the passion and dedication that define hockey. As the years have gone by, the Montreal Canadiens have faced their share of ups and downs. However, the foundation laid during their dynasty years continues to serve as a source of strength. The values instilled in the organization, the commitment to excellence, and the deep connection with the fans remain at the core of what it means to be a Montreal Canadien. In conclusion, the Montreal Canadiens dynasty from 1956 to 1966 is a defining chapter in the history of hockey. The team's tactical innovations, cultural significance, and emotional resonance have left an indelible mark on the sport and its followers. As we reflect on their legacy, we are reminded of the power of sports to unite communities and inspire individuals. The Canadiens are more than just a hockey team. They are a symbol of hope, pride, and resilience. Their story continues to unfold, and their influence will be felt for generations to come. The Montreal Canadiens, one of the most storied franchises in the history of professional sports, have woven a rich tapestry of triumph and tradition since their founding in 1909. As the oldest professional hockey team in North America, they have become synonymous with the sport itself. Their legacy is marked not only by a remarkable number of championships, but also by the deep connection they share with their city and their fans. The Canadiens' journey began in the early days of hockey, a time when the game was still finding its identity. The team was established by J. A. Leclerc, who sought to create a club that would represent the French-speaking population in Montreal. This initial vision laid the groundwork for what would become a powerful symbol of pride in both the sport and the community. In 1911, the Canadiens won their first championship, marking the beginning of a legacy that would see them dominate the early years of the National Hockey League. Throughout the 1920s, the Canadiens solidified their status as a powerhouse. The team featured legendary players like Howie Morenz, often referred to as the Babe Ruth of hockey. Morenz was not only an extraordinary talent on the ice, but also a cultural icon, capturing the hearts of fans with his dazzling speed and skill. The Canadiens claimed their first Stanley Cup in 1924, and it was the first of many championships that would follow. The 30s brought both challenges and triumphs for the Canadiens. The Great Depression affected many aspects of life, but hockey remained a source of joy for the people of Montreal. During this decade, the Canadiens continued to showcase their strength, capturing multiple Stanley Cup titles. It was also during this time that the team began to build a more robust farm system, developing young talent that would contribute to their success in the future. As the world emerged from the shadows of the Great Depression, the Canadiens entered a new era of dominance in the 1940s. The team became a force to be reckoned with, winning 5 consecutive Stanley Cups from 1944 to 1948. This unprecedented streak was fueled by the brilliance of players like Maurice "Rocket" Richard, who became the first player in NHL history to score 50 goals in a single season in 1945. Richard's passion and determination on the ice resonated deeply with fans, and he became a symbol of hope and perseverance for the entire city. The post-war years continued to see the Canadiens thrive. The 1950s were marked by a golden age of hockey, and the Canadiens were at the forefront. With stars like Jean Béliveau and Doug Harvey, the team captured an astounding 5 more Stanley Cups during this decade. Béliveau, with his grace and leadership, became a beloved figure, both on and off the ice. His contributions to the team were profound, and his legacy continues to inspire future generations of players. As the 60s rolled in, the Canadiens faced new competition in the league, yet they remained steadfast in their pursuit of excellence. The introduction of expansion teams brought a new dynamic to the NHL, but the Canadiens adapted quickly. They captured the Stanley Cup in 1965, a victory that underscored their resilience and skill. The era also brought forth the emergence of a new generation of talent, including players like Henry Richard, who would go on to become one of the most decorated players in NHL history. The 70s heralded a period of unprecedented success for the Canadiens, as they won 6 Stanley Cups from 1971 to 1980. This era is often regarded as the pinnacle of the franchise's history, marked by the brilliance of players such as Guy Lafleur, who dazzled fans with his speed and scoring ability. Lafleur's charismatic play style and larger-than-life personality made him a fan favorite, and he played a pivotal role in leading the Canadiens to 4 consecutive championships from 1976 to 1979. The Canadiens' success during this time was not merely the result of individual talent, but also the product of a cohesive team effort. Under the guidance of legendary coach Scotty Bowman, the team developed a system that emphasized both offensive creativity and defensive discipline. The Canadiens became known for their depth, with multiple players contributing to their success on a nightly basis. This era solidified the team's reputation as a dynasty, and the banners that adorn the rafters of the Bell Centre serve as a testament to their achievements. As the 80s unfolded, the Canadiens faced new challenges. The league was evolving, and the style of play was changing. Despite this, the Canadiens remained competitive, capturing their 23rd Stanley Cup in 1986. This championship was particularly significant, as it showcased the emergence of new stars, including goaltender Patrick Roy, who would go on to become one of the greatest players in NHL history. Roy's ability to perform under pressure and his remarkable skill set revitalized the franchise and ensured that the Canadiens remained a force in the league. The 90s brought a mix of highs and lows for the Canadiens. The team experienced a decline in performance, and the struggles of the early 90s were evident. However, the Canadiens managed to capture their 24th Stanley Cup in 1993, a victory that reignited the passion of their fans. This championship run was characterized by a strong defensive strategy and the outstanding play of Patrick Roy, who was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in the playoffs. As the new millennium approached, the Canadiens faced a period of transition. The team underwent changes in management and coaching, and the quest for another championship became increasingly elusive. However, the spirit of the Canadiens remained intact, with a loyal fan base that continued to support the team through both triumphs and tribulations. The Bell Centre, which opened its doors in 1996, became a sanctuary for fans, a place where memories were made and legends were celebrated. In the 21st century, the Canadiens have experienced a roller coaster of seasons, filled with moments of brilliance and heartache. The team has made several playoff appearances, showcasing flashes of their storied past. The resilience of the franchise has been evident, as they continue to develop young talent and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of the NHL. Players like Saku Koivu and Carey Price have emerged as symbols of hope and determination, embodying the spirit of the Canadiens. The legacy of the Montreal Canadiens is not merely defined by the number of championships they have won, but by the indelible mark they have left on the sport of hockey. Their commitment to excellence, their connection to the community, and their rich history resonate deeply with fans and historians alike. The Canadiens are more than just a hockey team. They are a living testament to the power of sport, to bring people together, to inspire, and to create lasting memories. As we reflect on the journey of the Montreal Canadiens, it is essential to acknowledge the countless players, coaches, and fans who have contributed to this incredible story. Each chapter of their history is filled with moments of joy, heartbreak, and triumph. The banners that hang in the Bell Centre serve as a reminder of the victories, while the stories of the players remind us of the passion and dedication that define this remarkable franchise. The Montreal Canadiens will forever hold a special place in the hearts of hockey fans around the world. Their legacy is a testament to the enduring spirit of the game, and as they continue to write their story, one can only imagine the new chapters that await in the years to come. The Montreal Canadiens, a storied franchise within the National Hockey League, have long been synonymous with success and tradition. Their history is rich, filled with triumphs and legendary figures. The period from 1956 to 1961 stands out as a remarkable era, marked by an unparalleled dominance that set the standard for excellence in professional hockey. In 1956, the Canadiens were already a powerhouse, having won the Stanley Cup the previous season. Under the guidance of their head coach, Toe Blake, the team was a well-oiled machine, blending skill, strategy, and a deep understanding of the game. The roster featured a mix of seasoned veterans and emerging stars, all contributing to the team's success. Among them was the legendary Maurice, whose scoring prowess was unmatched. Richard, known as the Rocket, had become an iconic figure in Montreal and throughout the hockey world. His ability to find the back of the net with precision and flair inspired a generation of fans. As the 1956 season unfolded, the Canadiens showcased their talent with a remarkable display of teamwork and resilience. With a strong emphasis on defensive play, the team allowed fewer goals than any other in the league. The defensive core, led by the likes of Doug Harvey and Tom Johnson, was as formidable as any in the league. Harvey, a smooth skating defenseman, was known for his ability to control the game from the blue line. His vision and passing skills helped transition the puck quickly from defense to offense, creating scoring opportunities for his teammates. The Canadiens finished the regular season at the top of the league standings. Their success set the stage for a playoff run that would see them capture yet another Stanley Cup. In the finals, they faced off against the Detroit Red Wings, a formidable opponent with a rich history of their own. The series was hard-fought, but the Canadiens' depth and determination ultimately led them to victory. They clinched the championship in 5 games, marking the beginning of a dynasty that would dominate the league for years to come. With the momentum from their championship victory, the Canadiens entered the 1957 season with high expectations. The team was bolstered by the addition of several talented players, including the young and dynamic Jean Béliveau. Béliveau, with his graceful skating and exceptional playmaking abilities, quickly established himself as a key component of the Canadiens' success. His partnership with Richard became one of the most celebrated duos in hockey history. Together, they formed a potent offensive threat that defenses struggled to contain. As the 1957 season progressed, the Canadiens continued to showcase their remarkable chemistry on the ice. The team's ability to score goals in bunches was complemented by a stifling defense that frustrated opposing offenses. The Canadiens finished the regular season with the best record in the league once again, demonstrating their dominance. In the playoffs, they dispatched their opponents with relative ease, advancing to the finals for a second consecutive year. In the finals, they faced the Boston Bruins, a fierce rival with a storied history of its own. The series was a hard-fought battle, with both teams displaying their skill and determination. However, the Canadiens' experience and depth ultimately proved to be the deciding factors. They clinched the Stanley Cup in 6 games, securing their second consecutive championship. The triumph further solidified their status as a dynasty in the making. The following season, 1958, saw the Canadiens continue their winning ways. The team was a well-balanced mix of seasoned veterans and young talent, each contributing to the collective success. Richard Béliveau and Harvey remained key figures, but the emergence of younger players like Dickie Moore and Claude Provost added a new dimension to the team's offensive capabilities. The Canadiens once again finished atop the league standings, showcasing their consistency and determination. During the playoffs, the Canadiens faced the New York Rangers in the first round, a team known for its speed and skill. The series was competitive, but the Canadiens' experience prevailed, allowing them to advance to the finals. There, they met the Chicago Blackhawks, a team that posed a significant challenge. The series was intense, with both teams trading victories. However, the Canadiens' depth and resilience ultimately led them to victory, capturing their 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup. As they entered the 1959 season, the Canadiens were riding a wave of confidence and success. The team's chemistry was palpable, and their collective understanding of the game was unparalleled. They continued to dominate the regular season, finishing with the best record in the league once again. The playoffs saw them face off against the Toronto Maple Leafs, a fierce rival that always brought out the best in both teams. The series was a classic, filled with drama and intensity. The Canadiens' depth and experience ultimately shone through, allowing them to advance to the finals for the fourth consecutive year. In the finals, they faced the Maple Leafs once more, a rematch that added another layer of excitement to the rivalry. The series was hard-fought, but the Canadiens emerged victorious, claiming their fourth consecutive Stanley Cup and further solidifying their place in hockey history. By the time the 1960 season rolled around, the Montreal Canadiens had established themselves as the benchmark for success in the National Hockey League. Their commitment to excellence, both on and off the ice, was evident in their approach to the game. The team continued to attract top talent, and their roster was filled with players who understood the significance of wearing the Canadiens' jersey. The 1960 season saw the Canadiens continue their dominance. They finished the regular season with the best record yet again, showcasing their depth and skill. The playoffs were a familiar path for the team, as they advanced through the rounds with relative ease. In the finals, they faced the Detroit Red Wings once more, a team eager to reclaim its place at the top. The series was an intense battle, with both teams displaying their skill and determination. However, the Canadiens' experience and depth ultimately proved to be the deciding factors once again. They captured their fifth consecutive Stanley Cup, a feat that had not been accomplished in the league's history. The achievement solidified their legacy and established them as one of the greatest teams in professional sports. As the Canadiens celebrated their fifth consecutive title, the impact of this era would resonate through the annals of hockey history. The combination of star power, humility, and a commitment to excellence set a standard that other franchises aspired to achieve. The legacy of the Montreal Canadiens, forged during this remarkable 5-year run, would inspire generations of players, coaches, and fans alike. The players of this era, including Maurice, Jean Béliveau, Doug Harvey, and many others, became legends in their own right. Their contributions to the game transcended statistics and accolades. They embodied the spirit of the Canadiens and the love of hockey in Montreal. Their dedication to the sport and the city created a bond that remains unbreakable to this day. In the years that followed, the Canadiens would experience ups and downs, but the foundation laid during this period of dominance would continue to influence the franchise. The lessons learned and the pride instilled in the players and fans alike would serve as a guiding light for future generations. The Montreal Canadiens are more than a hockey team. They are a symbol of resilience, passion, and the unwavering spirit of a city that lives and breathes hockey. The legacy of the Montreal Canadiens remains a testament to the power of teamwork, dedication, and the pursuit of excellence. Their 5-year run from 1956 to 1961 stands as a beacon of achievement in the world of sports. The memories created during this era continue to resonate, reminding us all of the beauty of the game and the impact it can have on our lives.